this crap during that time period, as well as stuff like this from the DVD.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I started to create something called a vision board, where I take something that I would want to achieve, or something that I want to attract, like a car or a watch or the soulmate of my dreams, and I put a picture of what I wanted on this board called the vision board. And every day I would sit in my office and I would look at this board and I would start to visualize. I would really get into the state of having already acquired it.
Okay, so instantly, if you know anything about marketing, then you know that this DVD is designed to prey on women's psychology. I can imagine that creating collages and calling that a vision board really sold to women who are mentally ill and seeking actual help instead of predatory spiritual bullshit that includes such experts as a visionary or a philosopher or a quantum physicist, because that sounds like a smart person's job, and they're all here to talk about the law of attraction.
Thoughts become things.
What most people don't understand is a thought has a frequency. Every thought has a frequency. We can measure a thought. And so if you're thinking that thought over and over and over again, or if you're imagining in your mind, okay, having that brand new car, having the money that you need, building that company, finding your soulmate, if you imagine what that looks like, you're emitting that frequency on a consistent basis.
See yourself living in abundance, and you will attract it. It always works. It works every time with every person.
If you pay attention here, you can see the fundamental trick that's going on, which is that people in this self-help DVD have taken something that is partially true and corrupted it to make money, and then said a bunch of smart words to make it sound official.
And you do that through neuroplasticity and building the pathway, giving yourself the examples.
Neuroplasticity, that sounds scientific, right? Okay, she must read a lot of research, so I'll believe everything she says. Anyway, great lies always have some sort of truth to them, and what I mean by that is that this DVD of The Secret is selling the law of attraction, and though it's not actually a law scientifically speaking, it's a true idea psychologically. It's just, I think, therefore,
Hello,
am.
Jessica.
That is a correct idea. Your thoughts do create your reality, but where the lie is in all this law of attraction manifestation bullshit is the strong suggestion that you can just think you will be successful, do nothing, and the success will just come to you. That's called delusion, and one of the most manipulative moments in the DVD to make people believe in this is right here.
Now, if you don't understand it, doesn't mean you should reject it. You don't understand electricity, probably.
It's going good.
Nobody knows what electricity is, and yet you enjoy the benefits of it. You know how it works.
Yes, I see what I mean when I say this DVD was
Starting my stream a little early,
feminist,
but
we know don't have a strong interest
people-
in STEM fields.
I don't know how it works. I know this, that you can cook a man's
people should
energy
start filing in
with
soon.
electricity, and you can also cook the man.
Again, the target audience is obviously women. Try to sell that last line in the modern day. Though, along with manipulative moments like this, and keeping in mind that I do agree that your thoughts create your reality, that is very true. However, the problem with things like The Secret is that they specifically remove the nuances of how to get
No,
good opportunities,
I'm just old.
so that their advice won't work and you'll keep buying their update courses on how you just aren't manifesting hard enough. So to bring this back to reality and back to things that
Hey,
work,
buddy.
the actual purpose of managing your thoughts, or I think therefore I am, is not to attract certain things to you. It is instead a note to stop getting in your own way, because what actually stops you from achieving your goals is anxiety and thinking that you can't achieve a nice life with a stable family and community that enjoys you being around.
Usually at least 4 hours.
Biggest issues with The Secret is the psychology that will give you
The law of attraction is always working. Whether you believe it or understand it or not, it's always working.
Anytime your thoughts are flowing, the law of attraction is operational.
Notice I did a 4-hour stream this morning. I'll probably do at least 4 hours tonight. During the week, I usually do a 6-hour morning stream and a 4-hour night stream.
What you're creating is more of how bad it is.
I know enough about mental health to know that this line of thinking will either cause OCD or heavily worsen.
Yeah, my Discord is
OCD and anxiety.
at the bottom.
Nothing's going to trigger them more
Blue
than
screen.
telling them that every small negative thought they have is putting them on a bad timeline or whatever. In fact, this line of argumentation makes me think that a part of their target audience that they are preying on is women with anxiety issues, and by the way, for what benefit? The vast majority of the markers of success in The Secret are material bullshit that will never make you happy.
So the law of attraction, the study and practice of the law of attraction is just figuring out what will help you generate the feelings of having it now. Go test drive that car. Go shop for that.
I have a
Get in the
viewer that
lounge,
has
do whatever you
viewed
have to do to generate the feelings of having it now,
215
and remember
consecutive
now,
streams.
whatever you can do to do that will
He
help you
literally
achieve your early
tunes
attraction.
in every
cares?
stream.
95%
He'll
of this
probably be
DVD
here.
is about material possessions, particularly expensive ones, and none of these things are actually fulfilling. This money-focused ideology is poison. Success in life is building a family and a good community. Success in business is figuring out how to make money.
Alright, I gotta figure out where I left off last time.
Success is not a Ferrari and a $5 million mansion. If you constantly measure your success by what material possessions you have, then you will always be unhappy. Someone will always have a more expensive car or a better designer handbag. I think these scammers know that, and they're getting you to focus on material wealth.
Alright, I will check on it in here in a little bit.
If you keep engaging in these unfulfilling measures of success, you're just going to end up old and miserable. And the great trick of the secret here is that they give you these ridiculous financial goals that they know statistically 99% of their audience will never achieve. So even if someone does win with the secret, they will still have a vast pool of miserable losers to prey on. Real success is building community, and it doesn't take millions of dollars or expensive cars to do that. And really the poison here is that if you're going to make someone unnecessarily greedy, you could at least give them some useful strategies for building themselves up. But instead, it's just nonsense.
Our job is not to figure out the how. The how will show up out of the commitment and the belief in the what.
The how are the domain.
Alright, I gotta
of
move the
universe. It always knows the shortest,
voice
quickest,
box.
fastest, most harmonious way between you and your dream.
If you turn
I
it
gotta
over to the universe, you will be surprised and dazzled.
move my
by
chat
what
box
is
real
delivered
quick.
to you. This is where magic and miracles happen.
Right. Basically, just sit right there and success will come to you. That's
Yes,
how shit works, but again,
I am
as I
originally
said,
from
this idea
Chicago,
is sort of true.
and now I live in
Often
central
success, but
Pennsylvania.
what's omitted here is that everyone gets lucky opportunities, and the ones who are able to capitalize on them are the people who are paying attention.
I'll put you
and only
guys
the people
over
who
here.
have built themselves up to be valuable enough to deserve the opportunity are the ones who will get it. No one's ever going to give you the chance if you haven't done the years of required prep work first. This is why I say that the secret is full of shit when it doesn't tell you this.
I'm
Also remember
a
that the
Midwestern
secret is
boy.
the core behind all the bullshit that you see on TikTok today. And not only are they telling you that you can be successful by doing nothing but saying affirmations in the mirror, not only are they really enabling people
During the week, I usually play Windrose in the morning, and then during my morning stream, I let the viewers choose what I play at night.
I'm not getting older, I'm getting younger.
Mostly, I've been playing Schedule 1 at night.
By using the law of attraction.
Are there any limits to this? Absolutely not. We are unlimited beings. We have no
Yeah, I
ceiling,
have two cats. I have
capabilities, and the talents
a
and the
big
gifts and the power
orange marmalade
that is
named
within
Buddy.
every
He's
single
hardly ever in there.
planet
And
is
I have a little
unlimited.
calico named
The secret has
Shoujo.
this important twist. Your thoughts can bring anything
Right
into
now
your
she's
life
sleeping
because you
between
are
my
the
legs.
guide. This is from a review of
But
The
she's
Secret.
usually
Can you show
hanging
why
out in there.
narcissists like the Wizard
Yes,
Liz always
she's
pick up
usually
this
hanging out.
manifestation
Here, I could
ideology?
probably,
It seems to be meant to cater
if I
to
could
people
pick her
with
up high
narcissistic
enough.
personality disorder, BPD, and OCD. And if you
That's
think
that's
hyper-successful
that's Shoujo
marketing
right there.
pros don't know their target audiences, then I would suggest that you look at all the seminars on YouTube
And
about how to make
Buddy's
a mobile game
probably in the other
successful
room sleeping
by
in the
playing on each
sunlight.
customer's personality archetype. And really, one of the primary promoters of
Uh,
the secret and this whole manifestation
Yeah,
of
I could do
bullshit
that.
is Oprah. Is
I
Oprah
also have a
Whether she
Facebook
is or
for my
not, I
channel
cannot
that I post.
understate how
I
popular
posted a
she
couple
was as a
cat
woman
pictures,
talk
but I
show
will
host back
I
in
can
the
post
2000s
cat
when The
pictures
Secret
on
came out.
Discord.
Honestly, I see Oprah and these kinds of talk shows as like the metaphor of the devil from Paradise Lost.
What do I
And
gotta
what I
do?
mean
I
by
gotta
that is that these people pretend to help
day
while they
9,
actually
so
harm you
I
or
gotta
stab you in the
refix
back.
that.
This is what I see as genuinely evil because
I
it's
guess I can
very
work on my
effective.
base.
The metaphor from Paradise Lost is that the devil realizes that he can't defeat God in combat, so he decides to corrupt his creation by turning into a snake,
Both of them,
pretending to be Eve's friend so he can trick her into eating the apple.
both cats I found, they were both abandoned.
But Oprah sold
The place I used to work is like out in the middle of like farm fields, and people used to abandon cats out there all the time. And that's actually where I got both of my cats. Like, Buddy was about a year old when I found him. I had to actually coax him, lure him in with food. But Shoujo was a baby, just a kitten. She wasn't even weaned, and when I found her, she was malnourished.
Clearly an effective use of a vision board.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But Chojo is malnourished and dehydrated. When I got her, I had to nurse her back to health, but because of that, her growth was stunted, so she looks very small.
And I know that, and I know how to do it without physically.
But she's a healthy cat.
You want to know how to do it?
Absolutely.
You have to meet the vibration. You can't be above or below it. It's just what I was talking about.
It means little girl in Japanese.
In order to draw the thing to you that you want to come, you can't want it so much that you fear that you won't get it. You have to want it. So in order for me to be on your vision board, you must have put it there and then you let it go. And then you weren't thinking about it every day. It doesn't come to you that way.
Got it. She's a high-level mage now, so she doesn't need material components like a vision board anymore. I gotta say, though, that was some pretty effective bullshit language, but if you want to know the strongest scientific peer-reviewed evidence that manifestation...
I am not. I am Lithuanian.
Work, then listen to this. Oprah, for many years, has been trying to lose weight, yet after all this time, she's still...
The whole...
No one noticed that?
well,
Wanting to lose weight
the...
used to be like the #1 thing that she's known for. Maybe she's been
I picked Shoujo because Japanese tend to have single words for entire sentences, so I like to choose words from Japan for things. The sensei thing I use for my channel is because I was a big fan of the... What do I do besides stream? As of now, nothing. I was a mechanic. I was a mechanic for like 30 years. I also did some contract painting, but not right now. I don't. I'm trying to do this for a living.
Cancer dissolve. I've seen eyesight.
To varying degrees of success.
I always say that incurable means curable from within. You can change your life and you can heal yourself.
Notice how they have the visionaries say the dumb stuff and not the doctor.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a living out of this.
Did they not get sued for telling people that you could cure cancer by making a vision board and saying affirmations in the mirror? How many people stopped treatment because of these assholes? Anyway, as for achieving long-term goals, even when it comes to building a good community, building a financially stable lifestyle, and creating the family that likes and appreciates you, that stuff is
I haven't played this game in a while, so I'm not 100% sure where I'm at in the game. It is nice to meet you. I'm glad you joined my stream.
By the people who know them personally. So when it comes to achieving really difficult goals, I find the most helpful mentality that keeps you on track and prevents you from quitting is to see your goal as a foregone conclusion. You're going to achieve it no matter what. This is not delusion. This is saying, I'm going to put in the necessary work to get what I want, and I'll achieve it when I achieve it. And the reason for this mentality is because people often hoist unrealistic and overly optimistic expectations upon themselves because they don't know that much about what they're trying to get. And so they'll say, I'm going to achieve this in 3 months. And then when 3 months goes by and they don't succeed, their optimism goes away and so they quit. Sometimes stuff like becoming fluent in a language...
I don't know where Buddy is right now. He'll show up here in a minute, I'm sure he will. I've said his name enough. But Buddy's... Oh god, Buddy's like 4 or 5 years old.
That is their mindset. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
I gotta go eat something and drink something.
A really dumb thing to admit, but sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut.
Do you think it crosses my mind when I'm putting together my dating profile? Do you think I'm...
It is better to keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool than to open it and remove any doubt.
Do you really think I care about that? That's a concern?
Yeah, of course. For for one, maybe you should take their words more seriously and start taking care of your health before your junk food and alcohol addiction hospitalizes you. 2, your business is social media. You are constantly taking photos and video of yourself. Why would you be using pictures that look like they're a year old when your body has
What's in here?
changed during that time? Anyway, I'm guessing at some point Molly figured out that people would get bored of the story time videos and
I need some place to store clay.
considering that she probably is making most of them up, and the more you lie, the more difficult it is.
I had leftover jambalaya. I made that whole pot of it yesterday for dinner, and I had the rest of it for lunch.
Alright, do you want an update on how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, and what I'm doing? So, I would first and foremost say that pretty much my entire waking hours,
I love calamari.
with the exception of when I know I need to drink water and consume food and take my dogs out, I've been obsessed.
Calamari is how I judge Italian restaurants.
Any state of our country. I've never felt as though my TikTok shop videos and my dating updates and my dating life vlogs, I've never in my life felt like that type of content.
This video must have come out right after Trump won, but it wasn't good enough to make the Meltdown compilation. Yep, look at that release date.
My brain is spinning.
Alright, I'm almost emptying my bags.
Ideas and plans to use my platform
It'll be morning.
for educational purposes.
Oh, please, you're like a complete airhead.
Dude, I get the Bob Evans mac and cheese. It's way better.
I genuinely don't think I've seen her do anything well on TikTok outside of live reviews. But okay, let's hear what
I was surprised to find out that they don't really eat mac and cheese in Europe.
I genuinely don't
I thought it was kind of a global thing. Mac and cheese kicks ass. I thought everybody ate it. But apparently not.
Now tell me more about how this affects your dating life.
Trump winning has done much more than just endanger us with our human rights, but also it's going to normalize misogyny and bigotry and racism and sexism more than ever before.
Gee, I sure hope that Molly says nothing in this video that's racist, sexist, or bigoted, because that would just look really bad.
If there are women in this country who have lost their bodily autonomy, why am I going to care about dating? Why am I going to want to date straight white men?
Every time with these people.
Wait, that sounds close.
And this finger pointing is all just projection. But wait, that's not even the best part of the video. The best part is Molly talking about where she gets her info on politics.
And this is not a hate towards all straight white men. One of the reasons why the majority of the content I've been consuming over the past few days has been Dean and Parker. You might have seen them from the Jubilee debates and stuff like that. These are young Gen Z straight white men. And they stand for all of the same values that I do, and they're very eloquent, and they're incredibly smart, knowledgeable men. And so I've been listening to them almost exclusively over the past few days.
Parker from Jubilee? You must be kidding. The guy who said, did the Taliban violate community guidelines on Twitter? Is she talking about...
Use of social media, but an ex-president can't. There is something wrong with that.
Does the Taliban violate community guidelines?
It doesn't matter.
I think it matters. Twitter with the community guidelines, so that's why they banned Trump violating community guidelines.
The Taliban stoning people.
This has to be the most insane and dumbest thing I've ever heard someone say in a Jubilee video, and that's where Molly gets her political takes. Oh god, the nightmare blunt road. So, naturally Molly's gonna have a bunch of really intelligent opinions on politics, right? She seems to feel really strongly about abortion. What does she have to say about it?
The moment I get paid next week, I'm going to buy many things. Yes, no, I have done my research on it. So my stance on abortion and it being in the hands of just about myself, because I have this capacity to care about others outside of my own sphere, right? Can you get with me here? Empathy. So even though I'm very grateful that I live in New York State, that I still have access to abortion, I am thinking about all of the women who suffer in this country. So God forbid, I'm in another state and I get hurt, I would like to have the possibility of.
I'm gonna sneak my way into this place.
And that is why I would decide. Why I think every woman in this country should.
Why? What's that going to do? Therapy is emergency contraception. It's not an abortion pill, so it's legal. For example, abortion is illegal in Texas, but you can still buy Plan B. You don't even have to leave your house, you just get it on Amazon. Molly, do yourself a favor and stick to content that doesn't require research.
I'm planning to go to my local library. I'm going to check out books so that I can learn more about the real history behind America.
I thought you were successful enough at this to quit your job, but you can't afford $15 for an Audible credit? You have to rent books from the library for free? Well, speaking of financial issues...
TikTok has not sent me my paycheck yet this month. I normally get paid on the 15th, and it's on the 16th when we have 2 hours away, paid the 17th, and I've not received it. But I've always, ever since I've been monetizing on TikTok, I've always gotten my pay on the 15th of the month. And it is now almost the 17th, and I still haven't received it. And I called PayPal and I asked,
You know there's going to be a mess of them in here. Wait, I think I already came in here.
and they said they have no record of receiving it.
I did already come in here.
The paycheck is 1 day late.
Alright, well.
So financially irresponsible that you have to rally the troops if you have to wait 1 extra day for your money? I thought you were a
Yeah, I did come in here. Alright.
I mean, you're lucky that you're not on YouTube, because if a payday falls on a weekend, you don't get paid till Monday, or later sometimes.
And so, you know, of course there's a chance that all of this is a glitch, but I can't help but think that something's awfully coincidental that this is happening days before the potential TikTok ban. And so in my head, I'm just thinking the worst, that the ban's gonna happen, and then they're not gonna pay me my last paycheck, and like, I'm freaking out. I'm also really trying to cope with the reality that I don't have any control over what happens with this.
Alright, we're going to open up this road.
Who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her that Donald Trump brought TikTok back? I know she released this video before he did that, but I love the irony.
I know for certain there are going to be haters in this comment section who are like, oh, get a real job, you know? And for that, I just say, I really hope you find an area of your life to exist where you have empathy for others, that you have empathy for people who are doing something even if it's unconventional, if it's something that makes them happy, brings them a quality of life that they didn't have before.
There's that talk about empathy again. Maybe people wouldn't be laughing at you if you didn't lie to them about being a victim of domestic violence.
And this time of year's always hard for me because around my birthday I always fucking miss my dead mother and wish she was here. So yeah, I'm kind of crashing out right now. I was just on the phone with my therapist, and he told me that it's okay if I ask for help. So, here's me shamelessly asking for help. I've done this before online, and I'm doing it again. If you can help me monetarily, if you want to share this video, because I'm afraid that other creators have also not received this week's pay. I just love this community that I've built, and so even just like a kind message would mean the world to me. And my heart goes out to anyone else who's really struggling right now. I really admire people who are able to put on a brave face during times like this, but I'm just not one of those people. I'm too sensitive and too needy.
I think your therapist meant ask your family and friends, not e-beg your TikTok followers for money and then use your dead mom as emotional blackmail. This is messed up. I mean, this is like rule number 1 of followers into giving you money. Only the worst people like Darkside Phil and Boogie do that. But this is all weird because, I mean, just like 2 weeks before, she was on Business Insider bragging about how successful she was. How could she be broke? Maybe you should have kept that day job as a teacher and used the extra money from TikTok to pay off your debt. And by the way, lazy, and I just want to further emphasize how this was a very well-deserved reality check, considering how little work she puts into her content. She literally doesn't even shower or change her clothes before she films.
And you know what, to everyone who loves sports, I do bring the same clothes every single day. Like, what about it? What about it? Yeah, I'm wearing the same t-shirt. It's dirty. I've been wearing it for like pretty much a week at this point, the same shirt. Not outside. When I go outside, guys, I put different clothes on. And I have showered this week once.
Hey, buddy, come on in.
Can you smell me through
Come on in.
the phone? Can you smell me?
That's gross. But apparently, we have an update on the payment situation.
I still have not received my payment.
There we go. Here.
Discovered something. I was fucking.
There's Buddy.
What? How did you get hacked?
Someone
This is Buddy right here. The big orange blob.
And my last payout to them. So I went on, I added two-step verification to my account, I changed all my passwords, and I deleted the unknown device.
You mean to tell me that you quit your full-time job, put all of your eggs in this TikTok basket, and you didn't do two-step?
No, this is the last game I was playing. It's already day 9.
What an idiot.
Guess where the unknown device was? Turkey? What?
I got this mountaintop base I've been working on.
Do me dirty like that. What? The thing is about this fucking hacker asshole dickhead piece of shit is that they sent the money to their PayPal, which actually makes this easier to resolve. That's very easy to track down. I have a transaction ID, I have the exact dollar amount, and I have the first 3 and last 3 characters of their email address, bitch.
Now, this whole thing would have been great if people didn't point out in the comments that PayPal is banned. So her story is a lie. But let's see if there's more information on what happened.
Hi guys, I just wanted to tell you that I just got a notification that TikTok...
This should be outfits, yeah. This should be empty. It is. Alright.
Which community guidelines I violated. I have a feeling
That's all my miscellaneous crap.
disqualified either because they're unwilling to resolve the payment that I'm owed, or maybe the fact that I've been open and political on here.
Yeah, it's not because you had stupid political takes. I mean, tons of TikTokers make videos displaying their stupid and poorly researched political opinions. But this is dated the 22nd of January. She said that she didn't get paid on the 16th of January, and then she claimed she got hacked on the 19th. Now, some of you might be thinking...
I already have one of these. Alright. I wanted to connect... probably put that on a different one, but I'll hang on to it for right now.
Of course she couldn't do something honest like that. So I think all of this is a lie, and what actually happened is that she got a notice that said she was going to get demonetized, freaked out and asked for donations, appealed it, and lost. I think this is what happened because she said, well, now I'm not going to get the money that I was owed for January 15th.
All of my income I should have gotten from last month, and that means that all of the income I should be receiving from this next month, from these videos that I've had viral, I'm not going to be receiving the payment for.
But you said the payment was already processed through PayPal, but then you said PayPal didn't get it? She's kind of changing the story here. Either way, she lied and essentially scammed her audience for donations. Now she says she's deleting her TikTok.
All this is to say that I will now be permanently deleting this.
Alright, we gotta head...
I am planning to
head over to my buddy's crib.
just to make sure I have everything, and I will be
Talk to the old man.
YouTube. I'll probably
Sell him some of my crap.
within the next 24 hours or so. Basically, whenever I get the confirmation that I received my data, I'm just getting rid of this app.
Yeah, good luck with that. YouTube is a different medium, and content works differently here, so you aren't going to be able to carry over your full audience. The same audience that, by the way, already wasn't big enough to pull in an income large enough to survive a paycheck being one day late. Have fun rebuilding, though I don't see why she would do that, because it says right here...
What are you doing to my stomach?
She said they didn't tell her what the violation was, and she has no idea what she did wrong. But if she thinks it's unjust, then she can appeal it next month, so this isn't something a smart person would trash their entire business over. Ultimately, for times like these, I've developed a mantra for myself that I like to say a lot. It's really easy to be lazy and do nothing all day as a content creator, because you don't have a boss and no one's telling you what to do. But if you do that for long enough, you'll get into a situation like the one Molly is in where she's screwed. So I like to tell myself, always be ready. Bad things are going to happen, be ready for them. I say things like this to...
Download Donald Trump made a tweet for those people purer and number now than ever before that are reading the failing New York Times, watching fake news CNN, that think that I am anxious to end the war, if you can even call it that, with Iran. Please be advised that I am possibly the least pressured person ever to be in this position. I have all the time in the world, but Iran does it. By the way, this is proven correct, like literally, you'll see in like 10 minutes. I have all the time in the world, but Iran doesn't. The clock is ticking. The reason some of these media are doing so poorly with subscribers and viewers is because they no longer have credibility. Iran's navy is lying at the bottom of the sea. Their air force is demolished. Their anti-aircraft radar weaponry is gone. Their leaders are no longer with us. The blockade is airtight and strong. And from there, it only gets worse. Time is not on their side. A deal will only be made when it's appropriate and good for the United States of America, our allies, and in fact,
Good morning, my ass. By selling to even a dumbass like you.
Correct size his balls are. He knows we have all the cards, and he knows that we can wield them whenever we want. And honestly, that's what's good about Trump. The fact that he's a businessman first and a politician second is absolute cinema, and it works every single time in our favor. And even more than that, I really appreciate that someone recognizes that we are actually the world power, and people are going to bow to our whims. That's right. If the terrorists don't actually want to make peace, then we're going to kill them. Or they'll eventually decide to make peace, or they'll be dead. That's how it works, honestly. And, there's a lot of people crying about this philosophy. But those people are gay. They're homosexuals. And I don't care what your opinion is. All right? Our enemies don't want to make peace. They'll die until they decide to make peace. This is my stance on basically everything. I'm against foreign funding in general. I don't want to fund foreign.
All right, well, let's go head over to 2.7 miles away. Let's look at the map, see the best way to go get there.
NATO to do shit. NATO needs to do shit. And if they don't, we're going to stop funding them.
We're going to take the road south.
It's understanding that we are actually the world power, the most sought-after nation on the planet, and everyone has to bow to our whims.
I'm going to try to follow a road there.
Overlords, don't get me wrong, but let's not forget about what our position actually is. But Iran is a sovereign nation. Not anymore. Now they're a crippled, limping, dying nation, and they will only survive if they kiss the ring. God, there's so many Americans and podcasters and commentators these days that are just sitting there. Well, actually, I prefer when America loses wars. Anyway, we have lots to talk about. So, first and foremost, VP J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Rubio, arrived at the White House at the same time this morning. No statement. No statement, just everyone gathering together. What is going on? That is the question lots of people have on their mind. Did they carpool? That is one of the questions. Here's footage of Ben Gurion Airport in Israel, appearing to show a major buildup of U.S. KC-46 Pegasus and KC-135 and Strike tanker refueling tankers on the ground. So that's pretty crazy. That's right. So we are using their airport. We are gathering our shit in the region. Again, we want them to make peace. That would be great. We would love it if they decided to kiss the ring and made complete peace. They dug up their nuclear dust. They give it all to us on a silver platter. And they also flatter us. We want them dressed in chicken suits and apologizing. Unfortunately, they're just going to have to do that. They'll have to grin and bear it, or they're going to die. Yes, this is how wars are fought, and that's how they're won. I don't want a forever war, infinite regime change, blah, 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 yada, yada. These are degenerate shitbags. They're evil fucking people. They massacred their own people, and they should never be forgiven for that. Honestly, any justice we decide to dole out on them is based, actually. And you can cry about it if you don't like it. Now, this is a pretty insane development. A senior Army nuclear scientist who oversaw our nuclear
This town is pretty big.
Placed on leave by Hexeth and can face criminal prosecution after being exposed by James O'Keefe. All right, so this is someone that was exposed for leaking secrets to the enemy.
A senior Army official entrusted with oversight of America's nuclear arsenal
Unacceptable.
has been placed on administrative leave by the Pentagon. And
at some point, treason charges.
Yeah. Sting operation by the O'Keefe Media Group. Newsmax chief Washington correspondent James Rosen is joining us now with a look at the comments caught on tape that landed this official in hot water. Good afternoon, James.
Bianca, good afternoon to you. A spokesperson for War Secretary Pete Hegseth referred Newsmax to a statement that the Army issued yesterday. It confirmed that nuclear scientist Andrew Hugg, the Army's branch chief for chemical nuclear surety, post focused on the safety and security of the Army's chemical and nuclear weapons components, has indeed been placed on leave pending additional investigation. In a pair of meetings in noisy restaurant settings with an unidentified woman who it turns out was employed by the O'Keefe Group and who was surreptitiously recording the encounters, Hugg appears to divulge classified information in a range of areas, from ongoing use of nerve agents to war planning in Iran, 2 segments of the video apparently capture Hug disclosing to his young female interlocutor at least 4 locations of underground nuclear missiles.
Unacceptable.
Critical
This is
aspects
treason,
of the
bro.
launch process
Treason.
could be fired off in the event of a nuclear conflict.
So you said there's
This is serious. We were always trained if a Girl Scout gives you a message, a launch message, she knocks on your door, goes, here you go, she gives you a launch message on a box of cookies, she wrote it down. If it passes all the checks, go.
On at least 2 occasions,
Yep, not acceptable.
appears to express concern that his interlocutor could be a spy, even acknowledging out loud his own vulnerability to precisely the kind of sting operation in which he was.
Not remotely acceptable. That's right. Well, God bless citizen journalists.
Guys have mesmerized me so much that I'm almost going to tell you. That's the easiest way to get intelligence. Like, just send a pretty girl, talk to the guy.
Right.
Hug also appears to have spoken of his work in Ukraine during...
Yeah, anyway, so you get the idea. Treason charges need to exist. Oh, but he was tricked. Fucking yes. Obviously he was tricked. No shit. Bro didn't want to commit treason, like, on camera on purpose. Dumb fucks. Yeah, but no, these people need to absolutely face consequences for this shit. Like, it's not even remotely acceptable. With great power comes great responsibility, man. Like, what are we even doing here? That's insanity. Oh my god. And you know, we only figured out that this link is a weak link because we have citizen journalists. O'Keefe, who's a citizen journalist who basically got this girl to get the info out of this guy, and it's not acceptable. Now, Pope Leo condemns the killing of protesters in Iran, according to Reuters. This is just now. Hello? The killing happened 3 months ago. Pope Leo shows up now to condemn the killing in Iran? Now, we all know the reason to this if we're actually paying attention or watching Nuxanor videos. Because I actually told you that he was going to do this. And I was right, obviously. So Pope Leo was condemning Donald Trump for killing Iranian terrorists. Killing Iranian terrorists. I know they're terrorists, but how could you kill them? They just want to live life and have sex with ghosts. Please, Mr. President, why would you kill them? Anyway, so the obvious twist here is that he never seemed to condemn Iran, you know, for the massacre of 40+ thousand of their own people, their own citizens that just wanted to protest, and they massacred them in the streets. So for some interesting reason, he never condemned that. Well, now he did, obviously, so he could make the argument, well, I condemn both sides. Now, again, I've covered this before, and we don't need to get into details, but there is a reason why I'm doing this. Pope Leo condemning the protesters in Iran just means that the tide is shifting, and morally, the world is waking up and realizing that Trump killing these fuckers is actually a really good thing. All right, aside from the fact that it is in our benefit, and I think our policy needs to be in our benefit in general, and America first, through and through, when it comes to American policy, we need to always be operating...
Dude, I totally heard one.
However, aside from that, morally, we are doing a good thing by getting rid of these pedophile, massacring, dipshit terrorists that have been committing acts of terror across the world. Now, this is Mother Miriam. I don't know her. However, she's been dropping truth nukes on the Pope, right? There seems to be something of a uprising from within the Catholic Church, recognizing that some people in the church are plants, right? You know, the Democrats just recently exposed funding like KKK organizations to make believe they hate racism. It seems like there is some sort of infiltration going on in the Catholic Church. I'm not surprised about this, because you see it everywhere. You see, like, the LGBT pastors, the LGBT rabbis, you know, like, all these guys, you know, intruding in people's faiths to manipulate them. So this is not surprising to me.
They said the Vatican Library would allow Muslim scholars to pray in a designated room with a prayer rug. Why would they allow Satan into the Vatican Library?
That's a good question, Mother.
That's insane. It's very dangerous that he's carrying on Pope Francis's agenda, and it's my concern is that souls, many more souls, are not going to learn the truth, and they will be sent to hell.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild. There seems to be some sort of pretty crazy, I would say, infighting going on, but people realizing that there's something suspicious happening. There is some sort of evil infiltration going on. Now, this is one of the most heartbreaking videos you're ever going to see. Just, like, this is a Christian in Nigeria. I was asleep at night when we heard gunshots. I'll just translate it in case no one's listening to the audio. I tried to wake my husband, but he would not wake up. My baby was breastfeeding at the time. I tried to wake my husband, but he didn't respond. They began to shake the door. When they couldn't open it, they used a knife to cut it and found the latch. These are the Christians getting massacred by Islamists in Nigeria, by the way. You know, the thing that no one seems to care about, even though we're really mad for some reason that Trump is killing terrorists in Iran. Anyway, they came in and found me breastfeeding my baby of 10 months. They seized the baby and sliced him in two with a knife. After that, they shot my husband and pierced him with a knife. The second child heard my scream and woke. They split his head with a machete. They turned on me and they raised their knife. I used my hand to block their strike. That is how they cut my hand, but the knife got part of my head. They also struck my eldest son, but he survived after treatment in the hospital. This is the life of Christians in Nigeria, right now. The thing that, for some reason, no one seems to care about in the media. No one in the media, none of the libtards. The Pope barely, he made like one little condemnation statement about this, and then 4,000 about Trump. All right, but like, this is unbelievable. All right, like, people are starting to really take issue with this entire messaging, you know? So Tucker Carlson, for the record, a guy who's like super, you know, he's super Christian because, and he hates Israel because Israel is mean to Christians. That's his narrative. He said the Christian genocide in Nigeria is a hoax. Like, you don't understand, bro. He said this multiple times. He said, oh, there's no Christians getting killed by Muslims in Nigeria. Oh, that's ridiculous.
But he's all of a sudden, kind of out of nowhere, deeply concerned about the plight of Christians in Nigeria, which I want to...
He's referring to Trump, because Trump actually saved the Christians in Nigeria.
Restate that. Maybe a totally valid concern. But...
A real concern for Christians in Nigeria. What's wrong with the Christians in Nigeria? The Muslims also respect Jesus.
That's weird. What is that? All of a sudden, everybody's concerned about...
What is that? Why are we concerned about Christians in Nigeria?
People who clearly have no track record of being interested in Christians at all. What's going on?
Why do people who seem to not care about Christians suddenly care when tens of thousands of them are being massacred in the streets? Like, again, are we being serious here? Who's falling for this psyop? This, like, Islamist psyop? Like, what are we even doing? Israel is mean to Christians. But there's a bit of a hoax.
I'm doing a good job on conserving bullets.
And people are seeing it. The Tucker Carlson favorability rating is 20% favorable, 50% unfavorable. That's pretty fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that's a little bit insane. Now, you have to understand, this 28% favorable, this isn't even 28% on the right. This is probably, if I had to guesstimate, probably like 18% on the right, or 20% on the right, and then 18% on like the Islamic left. That is probably where this 28% shows up. You know, and it's insane. It's insane how he was one of the most beloved media figures of all time, and I don't know what happened to him, but all of a sudden he's just shilling this Islamist propaganda, and it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Now,
Dude, Tucker Carlson was never a beloved media figure. He interviewed retards. He made a retarded face while retarded people said retarded things.
Saying, like, you know, God bless you and stuff like that, because he's fighting for the Iranian people that have been oppressed by this Islamic regime. It's pretty weird how wherever you have Islamic regimes, you end up massacres of civilians. It's pretty weird. It's probably a coincidence. And, you know, someone threw paint at him. Or worse. More people keep attacking him. Right? You see everyone with the Iranian flags with the lion. That's fighting for the people to rise up and overthrow the regime. Then you get a couple of dipshits attacking him. Like, that's crazy. It's insane that they don't even get that close. And it's the woke Islamo fascists that are destroying Europe, for sure. Absolutely. Now, to understand, the
Dude, this looks almost exactly like the place I built my base.
Pedram Hussein Monfared, the son of an IRGC official. He is literally the son of one of the Islamic terrorists that are oppressing the Iranian people. And for some reason, this dude's in Berlin, there to attack the exiled immigrants of Iran. If that's not fucking perfect, I don't know. Now, Reza Pahlavi had a lot of things to say. This is what he had to say about the Western media and the coverage of this entire Iran war. Because if you actually look at Western media, they hate Trump so much, they end up supporting the radical Islamic terrorists that massacre their own people.
Reconnect with the streets of Iran. It appears to me, more often than not, that there is a disconnect between the world media, Western media, from the reality on the grounds in Iran. That is stupefying for me. I saw that to some extent in Stockholm, and I see on other occasions. It looks like you guys are on another planet. You're not hearing what the people on the streets are saying.
Yeah, what's going on? It looks like you guys are on another planet. I don't understand. You guys are like the poor Iranians when the terrorists get killed and the Iranian people are getting freed. What is going on with you people? You know, and he's just right. He's completely right. You know, they try to hit him with all sorts of, like, gotcha questions as much as they can. Right, this is a guy in Berlin asking Reza Pahlavi if he's a Mossad operative.
Oh, okay.
Now I see.
I have a personal question since we can see our with the help of the lobby group Europe-Israel Press Association. The Israeli government supports you taking over in Iran, and the same government, government that started a war of aggression against your country with the U.S. So
it's not a war against this country. It's a war against the Islamic regime that's destroying their country. Like, these people are all fucking retards. Like, these woke people, like, they're supporting the Islamic fascists that are massacring the protesters on the streets in Iran.
So many people around the world think that you are an Israeli asset. Are you?
First of all, a fucking disgusting question to ask in general of a guy fighting on behalf of his people that is being oppressed. Just a gross question in general. But anyway.
I'm a friend to Israel and the Jews. Because again, as a descendant of Cyrus the Great, we take pride of the fact that the very cornerstone of human rights happened at the time that Cyrus the Great, through his cylinder, which is displayed worldwide, that is referred to in the whole of nations as the United Nations, was what coined the very principles of liberty when he freed the Jewish slaves in Babylon and helped them rebuild their temples in Jerusalem. Iranians and Jews have a biblical relationship. In fact, the only two countries that can claim that. In modern history, Iran wasn't the only country in the Middle East that were escaping Hitler and his regime.
Now, you wonder why all of these radical Islamist retards fucking hate the Islamic regime. And you wonder why Trump actually is more than happy to topple this Islamic regime, aside from the fact that they are a threat to us with their nukes, with their assassination attempts against Trump, is because, and you'll notice if you just basically look at the geopolitics, you have Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, you have Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, they're all working together with us and with Israel right now against Iran. If you want to actually understand what's going on, Iran has started almost every conflict in the Middle East, all right, killed way more Muslims than Jews did, by the way, for those of you paying attention. They went to civil wars in Syria. They've killed Christians everywhere in the Middle East. Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, they're all proxies of Iran. The truth of the matter is, everyone's really afraid that, wait a second, what if Iran and Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Syria and Kuwait and Bahrain and Qatar and Israel are all kind of buddies? What happens if that happens? Well, that means that the radical Islamists fucking failed in their...
Look at this little slice of heaven.
Trying to destroy the world. So you'll have these Islamo...
Take out my pistol and start putting zombies out of their misery. This seems like a pretty hip crib, man.
Like the irony is, we could be seeing such a fundamental world peace under Trump that they hate it. They absolutely hate it, and they're trying to undermine it. They want Iran and Israel to be at war. They want all these different nations to fucking hate each other, so that the CIA could do their gay fucking coups all over the place. They want to make Trump look like the bad guy for killing Islamic terrorists, and all
It looks like something
retards
bad's
like
gonna
Tucker
happen in
Carlson
there.
that is huffing the Islamic fumes these days is doing their absolute best to push that shit. Iran was never a Muslim country. It wasn't. It's occupied right now. And the radical Islamists are terrified of the
Where?
Iranian people actually being free of their oppression. Because, well, then they lose their
Oh, coming out of the water.
little religious fanatic state of terror. It's so fucking obvious if you pay attention. It's insane. Breaking, the Islamic Republic has bad.
There comes some kind of hole or something down here.
Breaking news update: Iran's foreign minister is on his way to Pakistan tonight. Things keep changing. This is insane, and this is a blockade. All right, it's because at first they were trying to extend the ceasefire, and Trump was like, "Sure, Taco, Trump always chickens out. He'll extend the ceasefire. What a pussy!" And then he's like, "And we're gonna blockade your ass." And now they're begging to end the ceasefire. Well, anyway, this ends one of two ways. You either submit completely and surrender totally, unconditionally, or you fucking die. All right, winning wars is based, actually. And honestly, the Middle East under Trump might actually...
Alright, what are they trying to keep me from getting in here?
Instead of
Some books?
terrorist sandbox of infinite wars and battles, poked and prodded by radical Islamists. And as I've always said, I way prefer peace through strength than wars through weakness. Of the Biden era, gigantic pussies sitting there and letting countries tear each other apart because you're too much of a dick and balls to do anything about it.
Not gonna lie, that wasn't very impressive, but...
Are you happy? If the answer to that question is yes, then stay far away from...
Then clap your hands.
You turn the cheek, run the other direction.
Now, Trump actually dropped a truth nuke on India yesterday, and everyone's talking about it. To give you some context, Vivek Ramaswamy is a right-wing candidate for governor of Ohio, and he seems like a pretty nice guy, all things considered, except when it comes to nationalism, he really tries very hard to be like, we are all American equally, and we are all American patriots. And it's like, we all share American values. Do we though? Anyway, so he made this statement at Turning Point USA or something, I think, or Ureki, I don't know. I think it's a Turning Point event, and he had this to say, and a lot of people are talking about it. Before I show you Trump going off on India, you have to see this one. Ronald Reagan, because he's as based as Indian people get in America. He seems like a very nice guy, all things considered.
Understood this well to some of our, let's just say, parents who are in the back. Okay, we'll address Ronald Reagan from your generation. He understood this well. He famously said, "You can travel to Italy, but you'll never be an Italian. You can travel to France, but you'll never be a Frenchman. You can live in Germany, but you would never be a German. You can pack your bags and live the rest of your life in China or Japan. And you'll..."
Whoa!
So good, by the way, he's totally right about all these things.
But you can travel from any one of those countries.
Just make sure that guy stays down.
In the United States of America, and you can
I did not care for him one bit.
You work hard, you play by the rules, you make your contributions, wait your turn, pledge allegiance to the flag, and obtain your citizenship in the right way. That is America.
Yeah, so, nice message. Ronald Reagan was definitely cooking with that one, but when it's repeated here, there is an elephant in the room that is not being addressed, and that is that immigration under Ronald Reagan is not the same as immigration now. First of all, there was no third world immigration under Ronald Reagan. That's literally first and foremost. Second of all, the people that were immigrating under Ronald Reagan that were coming into America, they were 90% white Christians, all right? There were people that came from very similar...
Well, not just that, they were a net positive. They were coming here to participate in the system, not leech off of it.
This is the most important. America wasn't a welfare state. Right now, there's this idea of, well, I come from a shithole in Pakistan. I'm going to come to America and get free shit that the white people are going to give me. All right, and that idea did not exist in the time of Reagan. So under Reagan, this speech is a banger. under the modern day idea of immigration, which is take infinite retards from the third world that contribute nothing and are parasites on the country, that we don't really need them to be here, but they get to take free little voting blocks to consolidate power and elect officials that have their own ethnic first interest in mind. That is not what Reagan was talking about at all, actually. And the other fundamental question here is, I get it. You travel to Italy, you never be Italian. You go to France, you never be a Frenchman. You live in Germany, you never be a German. Pack your bags, live in China, you never be a Chinese, be a Japanese person. But anyone can be American. Being an American means nothing. Being Italian means something.
Slipped two of them on me, huh?
German means something. Being Japanese or
Should have shot the barrel like I did.
means absolutely nothing. Being American is just a piece of paper. Being American is a cultural idea. I'm not even saying it's genetic. It's cultural. Working hard.
Whoa!
And it goes certainly real. It's ironic that, you know...
Wow, there's a lot of...
It's ironic that, honestly, America, the greatest country on earth, in fact, that is built off of values and doctrines not mentioned in this speech at all. And some people, wherever they come from, do not uphold that same cultural value. Hassan Pike grew up in America, lived in America for a very long time. He's out there on podcasts advocating for stealing, looting, and murdering people in the streets that you don't like. Supporting every Islamic terror organization you possibly
Wow, that got out of hand pretty quick.
He goes out there, he goes home after a long day of work, threatening to murder people and sicking his audience on people, to torture his dog. Well, I would argue he works hard. You know, he donates to charity probably. I would not argue that makes him an American. So the obvious elephant in this room is the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy very, very much is like, I am just American as you. And this is something that people are noticing a lot. So Donald Trump made this post, and it changed everything, all right? I don't even know how I'm supposed to read this, but he made this post, and everything changed. Because let's just say, it's massive. It's a massive tone shift on everything you've ever seen. He dropped a fucking novel on Twitter, all right? Welcome to Savage Nation. Today's brief abbreviated discussion about the arguments that I've listened before the Supreme Court about birthright citizenship. I was somewhat incensed by listening to the arguments because all I heard was the legalese being bandied back and forth. Quite noticeable to me was that the person bringing the arguments in favor of flooding America with illegal aliens to change the demographics forever.
I do believe I killed everybody, so...
Very smart, very evil, and very devious. Holy shit. The ACLU is the head of the snake. They have been forever, and they were, again, trying to turn America into a cesspool. We all know these arguments should not be conducted by the abstract of a courtroom. This is not really about law. This is about public opinion. Now I can start arguing about the Constitution itself, and I'll run into a stone wall with you. We can't modify the Constitution because it's written in stone, and if we do, they'll take away our First and Second Amendment, which is what they would do.
Where are these?
So that's the problem. The Constitution needless to say, before television, before the internet, before radio. And you can say, how relevant are some of these arguments when the people are coming here by airplane in the 9th month of their pregnancy? A baby here becomes an instant citizen, and they bring the entire family from China or India or some other hellhole on the planet. Oh my God, he's actually asking the India question. Yeah, this is a nuke, by the way. Trump has never, ever done this before. You don't have to go too far to see that. English is not spoken here anymore. There's almost no loyalty to this country amongst the migrants class coming in today, which is not always the case, true, by the way. Nope, they're not like the European Americans of today and their ancestors. The Irish integrated, the Italians integrated, the Polish integrated, the Lithuanians, the Romanians, the Russians, they all integrated and became Americans in the melting pot. The idea of the melting pot is long over. It is now just cash in the pot. Oh my God, he's so right. It's the welfare state, right? So many people want to move to America to get free shit from the natives, right? We've gone from the melting pot to a chamber pot. As I said many years ago, you don't have to go any further than any city in America than the one that says wrought upon our country. So now listen to these very wise, smart lawyers arguing in the abstract as to whether birthright citizenship should apply to anyone born here, no matter who their parents are, where their parents are from. It's ludicrous to me, which is why I put a poll on my social channels where I said birthright citizenship.
Oh man,
not put in the hands of lawyers. Let the people decide, probably. They're also abusing it. I used to be a great supporter. Oh, wait, I think, hold up. Oh, my God, he wrote this in, like, an unreadable way. Holy shit. Oh, my God. He wrote this in let the citizens decide. Of course, I knew how it would go because I know what the people think. It's 80-20. Yes, of course, we should have a national referendum on this. In California, we have propositions rigged elections, and gay people, as they are people who get a chance to vote on certain propositions, then and we vote against what the governor wants or what the vermin who run the state want, then find a cockamamie ACLU lawyer to overturn our vote anyway, which is where revolutions arise. Because no longer can we take any more of this shit. I don't like getting vulgar, but I can't help it anymore. The country has been stolen from us by these effing lawyers. Shakespeare had it right. I didn't like listening to all of their fine
Oh, I don't want
without
these.
talking about the realities in place and how this has become a bankrupt welfare nation. There is article after article about the abuse of the welfare
But,
system in state California. A great one today in the California Post. You actually would not believe the extent of fraud in this state. Oh my God. And a good portion of it is being conducted by immigrant front groups, all protected by the ACLU, which is the most dangerous criminal organization in the history of America. They've done more damage to this nation than all mafia families put together in my unhumble opinion. Gangsters with laptops, they've robbed us blind, treated us like second-class citizens, left the third world to triumph, stepped on our flag, etc. So again, birthright citizenship is the question. I can't take much more. I woke up and saw what was going on, and I said, I'm really glad that I could watch this. First, they made an issue of Trump showing up like it was illegal for the president of the United States to witness this. When it turns out they said, oh, he's there to bully them. Actually, they said, oh my God. Actually, they said, as we studied this, there was actually a chair put in there by the founding fathers of the Supreme Court for a president to sit in. So Trump is an activist president. That was no good either. Whatever he does is no good. Earlier, when I saw this was...
Are you kidding me?
Listen to the snake.
Oh!
Mrs. Wong, Attorney Wong. She speaks so eloquently. Supreme Court argues
I need this. Do I got the semi-auto mod in this thing? Hang on.
coming in just to drop a baby on our shores.
No, I just got the stupid scope. Alright. I need a semi-auto mod for this thing.
Into a colony of China, and it's not limited to China. It's also India. They're also abusing it. I used to be a great supporter of Indians in India until I opened my eyes to what was going on here. White men need not apply to jobs in the state of California, never mind in high tech. I don't care what your qualifications are. You're not getting a job in high tech in California. So, for the record, there's two issues here. Another issue is not just the fact that, you know, they're hiring cheap labor from overseas to take all the jobs, but as AI rolls in and these people will lose their jobs, we're just going to have a whole generation of unemployed Indian people in America. You know, it's pretty wild. Your chances are nil. You have to be from India or China because almost all the internal mechanisms are said to be run by Indians and Chinese. I know it for a fact that you don't have to argue it. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't argue with me. So I ask you if you agree with me. I know the answer already. I see it on X. Simple question. Birthright citizenship. Should birthright citizenship be subject to a national vote? Not put in the hands of lawyers? If the citizens decide it's running 78 to 21? Admittedly, it's a small sample. Admittedly, it's a biased sample. Okay, but Supreme Court arguments made me very disturbed because they can't leave it to a handful of lawyers to decide the future of our nation. So fucking right about this. There's a very famous case, I think it was Stonewall Jackson, who after the Supreme Court ruled about the Cherokee removal, he disagreed with what the Supreme Court said, and he said, now that the court has decided, let them enforce. Meaning, he said, go screw yourselves. True, by the way. You know, the courts can say whatever they want, but you ultimately need the enforcement of the nation to actually be active, right? In order to enforce whatever the gay lawyers decide.
I'm gonna have to get rid of something so I can...
Supreme Court, then sure, let them come, let them drop a baby in the 9-month on the doorstep and turn him into an instant citizen and bring in all the ancestors in India and
You know what?
Sure, bring it all in if that's what happens, which is
Just for your meat, little buddy.
And I think we need a Jackson as president. I don't mean Haji Jackson. We need someone to stand up to these lawyers. They've destroyed our nation. It's the truth. It's the lawyer cartel, the judge cartel. Unbelievable what's going on in my nation and my state. The corrupt state of California, where fraud is so rampant, even the Democrats are screaming about it. Even the Democrats are screaming about it. That's my piece on birthright citizenship here in Savage Nation. I don't see anyone giving you a cognate argument in favor of illegal immigrants dropping babies off on the shore. Of course, you're going to get racist. It was okay with European
I need that semi-auto mod really bad if I'm going to be playing with this scope.
Americans on there, and the reason they do it is quite simple, because the legal profession is a closed circuit. Also true, by the way. They all work in their own world, and they don't want to be excluded from the events that legal people have with each other. As the lawyers of ACLU have destroyed the nation, they've always on the side of the criminal, not the cop. The criminal, not the victim. The illegal alien, not the legal citizen. The ACLU
There we
is a
go.
criminal organization.
Getting a little better with it.
Could be done, and I don't know, and I still don't know why Trump hasn't done it. He's gone after every other national enemy, for God's sake. He's at war with Iran right now. I would say that the ACLU has done damage to this nation, more damage to this nation than Iran has ever done directly to this nation. Honestly true. The ACLU has done more damage to our borders, language, culture than Iran has done. The ACLU and the cockamamie lawyers have done more damage to America than Muslims, mullahs in Iran have done to this nation. Why can't they be taken down under the RICO statutes? I've studied it. Racketeering, influence, corruption organization. That's ACLU by definition. Where 3 or more people conspire, that's all they do. Conspire with money from Soros and other enemies of the state to bring this nation down and turn us into an unrecognizable cesspool reminiscent of the worst third world dictatorships. Break the ACLU and RICO statutes. President Trump, please. I don't think that's going to happen. They're all afraid of them. I don't know what it is. I don't understand it. That's one of the opinions on the issue of birthright citizenship. What does diversity mean anymore? Have you been to an emergency room at least recently? I have. See how it's treated in the ER room, like the Tower of Babel. They're milking the system dry. If one of them gets a runny nose, 15 come running, and they get $100,000 of treatment for doing nothing. You ever see your bills after going to the ER room for a cut finger? You say, how could it be $30,000 for a cut finger? Who do you think is paying for the illegal aliens who are in our midst? President Trump, one last appeal to you today. Please bust the ACLU under RICO statutes before there's nothing left of this nation to save. Honest to God, truth nuke, literally. And Donald Trump reposted it. He is schmooving, ladies and gentlemen, schmooving. Trump is addressing the Indian question, and y'all are blackpilling. La 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 from the Hindu American Foundation, saying we are deeply disturbed by President. I'm sorry. We are deeply disturbed by President of the United States sharing this hateful, racist, targeting Indians and Chinese.
Oh shit! I didn't take my pork roast out of the fucking freezer. I still gotta do that.
At the time of xenophobia, racism, radiated all time high. My guy, there are like virtually no hate crimes against Chinese or Muslims or Indians in America. It's not a real thing. Literally. Holy shit. Oh, how dare you engage in rational discourse? It'll make someone mad at someone else. Literally, fuck yourself. We ask Donald Trump to reconsider, delete the post, recognize the indelible contribution Asian Americans to our great country. Now, the truth is, Asian Americans, I think, did enhance our country in certain ways, to be fair. But I think we have too many Indians in Texas. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why they're all here. I'm not gonna lie. They're great. Make India great again, man. So Ted Liu, all right, says. You're White House. Chinese American. I read Donald Trump. Racist post bro. Please, Donald Trump, I say. Fuck you. Yeah, anyway, we really care about that. That obviously.
I can't help but to think there's another road up there. I'm probably wrong.
As you can see, this post has 100,000 likes, and it's just a guy who's tired of Indians.
So check this out. So I get all these spam calls from on this phone number all the time, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of them, right?
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've created a script in JitBit. What this is going to do is it's going to call them back, right? It's going to wait for them to answer. It's going to interact with the prompts automatically. And when they answer,
brutal.
It's going to play Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yeah, that's right, baby. And then it just plays the Rick roll. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
He hung up. But see, what you don't know...
And he hung up.
See, what you don't know
it
about
gets
the
better.
script, though, is that I have it on repeat. It's a zero loop integer I put in there.
That's right.
So it's going to keep calling them back.
Infinitely.
Over and over. It's going to keep doing this forever until they're forced to block my phone number.
And then you don't get the scam calls anymore. Truly the 9/11 of India. Honestly insane. Oh my God. Now, the crazy thing is, people start realizing that being Canadian is just a humiliation ritual at this point. You know, they imported, like, so here's fighting between Indians yelling intelligible things inside the legislative, this is the legislative assembly of Ontario. Like,
oh yeah.
Right. I'm nothing against these people. I'm just wondering why we need to import so many of them. They've taken over our government.
Alright, well, we're going this way.
My God, what are we doing here? This is like completely not necessary for the safety and sanctity of our nations, you know? Like, I'm just noticing. Look at this, bro. It's crazy. This doesn't stop. screaming at each other in the parliament. Like, what are we even doing here? All right, we got Indian people attacking Tyler Oliveira wherever he goes now because he made a couple of anti-India videos.
Wait, why are you coming up on me? What's going on? What's going on here?
What are you doing there? What are you doing? Don't try to be... Don't try to...
Yeah, I am not from this country, but I am going to explain to you why you're not allowed to film in public and why you should. Like, oh my God!
I'm not trying to be smart. You're trying to be smart.
But don't touch.
All right, then get away from me then.
But then put this off. Put this off.
No, I'm not
Put
going.
this off. You are going.
No, I'm not
You
going.
are going.
No, I'm not.
I am telling you what to do. You are going to obey me.
Get away from me. Get away from me. All right, he's already calling the shots here. Because I'm going to start. No.
Yeah, and that is the shots being called. Tyler Oliveira made an entire hour and 12-minute long video. Oh my God. Hour and 12-minute long video on the Indian invasion into Texas. We're not going to watch it, but I'll show you the intro. And also, why are none of them wearing shoes?
This is Frisco, Texas. Once quiet farm town turned home to one of the largest and fastest growing Indian communities in America.
Where are you from?
India.
From India?
I'm from India.
South India.
I'm in H1B.
Now, and Indians they tend to be really nice people, but we're importing millions of them. Share our culture. Well, let's just say that we have different standards when it comes to things like hygiene, for example.
Motherland India or Texas, USA?
Obviously, Motherland India.
Obviously.
So why are you here? Oh!
Obviously, Motherland India.
Oh my God! So why are you here? Wow, this is fucking crazy. See, and that's why when Vivek Ramaswamy shows up and he really tries to hit you with the everyone is American, unlike the Chinese and Japanese and Indian and all these other places where you can't be those cultures, but you can be American if you're just here and you work hard. Well, a lot of these Indians are working hard, but would you say that these people are American when they'll be like, oh yeah, I definitely prefer Motherland India over here. I just prefer not to be shit everywhere, I guess, probably. Are we being serious?
As the Indian population exploded from 3% to 33% of the
33% of the population.
A third of the population.
Are outraged, declaring there has been an Indian invasion. But how are all these Indians coming?
What are those weird magic floating things? Oh, okay, nothing. Just take a shot at the plane.
Frisco Town Hall witnessed the clash of heritage Texans and their new Indian neighbors.
We need more or less H1B people here?
We need a lot less.
Why?
Yeah, H1B, that's the visa program that basically says, hey, you can come to our country if you work. And you do some menial labor.
I got laid off 20 years ago. I worked in IT. I have 2 master's degrees. I was making over $100,000 a year. They said,
Well, why pay someone $100,000 if you could just hire someone from India and pay them 20 grand?
we're going to hire Indian. But I haven't been able to find a job in IT since, and it's really sad.
And you know what? I don't have another home in India. I don't have another home in Bangladesh. I don't have another home. I can't move to Somalia. I won't be able to live there all die. This is my home. The devil would say, well, you're racist. That's racist. According to the devil's dictionary definition of the term, I am racist.
There's been a takeover in Frisco of the Indian population and a lot of...
yeah, you could call me racist, but I'm literally starving and dying, can't get a job, and I'm being outpriced from my own neighborhood. You call me racist, but I'm dying here. So at some point, your pejoratives don't matter. I don't care what you call me. And I, for the record, am not racist against Indians at all. I think Indians happen to be very nice people. I have, really good experiences in the past with Indian people in general. I really think they should make India great. I'm not trying to be controversial or anything. They should really make India, a beautiful, glorious, great place, and I hope it's super prosperous. I'm rooting for you guys against Pakistan that's constantly fucking with you, I'll be real, and keep make India great or something, man. Maybe chill out with the spam calls and shit. But why are you here? Why are you here if every single person that's here is like, oh yeah, we love Motherland India so much more. We're only here to take away the opportunity from the white man. It's so much better for all of us. H1B scams, essentially, they'll hire these people for low pay, they'll treat them badly, and they'll stay here anyway, and they'll work for you. It is evil. It is an evil scam. All right, we are having our country being radically ripped apart. And part of the scam is then they'll get pregnant, then they'll have kids, and the kids, boom, birthright citizenship, they'll be just as American as me and you. So this H1B visa, these little tiny itty bitty details, whoa, Trump was right with this one. He fucking crashed the fuck out, but he was absolutely correct. He dropped a truth nuke that people are not willing to engage in these discussions because it's like, well, why do you hate Indians? I don't hate Indians. I just think that they should be in India. And I'm not even saying that no Indians assimilate. I'm sure some do. Vivek Ramaswamy seems like a pretty decent guy, all things considered. But they do not share our culture.
Wow.
They do not share our value system. They do not share, honestly, our God. Unfortunately, I hope they find him. And being American is not a piece of fucking paper. So you're blackpilling? Donald Trump is engaging in the Indian question and you're blackpilling? Hating on Muslims is easy. You know, they keep raping and killing people. But like hating on Indians? Oh, that's when you're actually getting somewhere. That's when you're becoming
Ass hat. I was trying to do something. Oh!
These names. The Spanish stayed there for almost 3 weeks, recovering from their many wounds and negotiating
get rid of
with
that.
the 4 Tlaxcalan chiefs. Hernan Cortez lived over half a millennium ago, so it's hard to make definitive statements about his character, but one thing seems fairly clear. The man...
So Ilhan Omar is going down because she skipped the Minnesota fraud hearing. If y'all know the one that's in fraud, the fraud scandal involving the Feeding Our Future program, and they asked Ilhan Omar to come, and she refused. She didn't answer, and that ain't the only thing happened because now they have given her 10 days to cough up the documents on her ties to the massive Somali Feeding Our Future fraud scandal, and right now she is panicking. This woman is cussing out reporters, telling them to get out of her face, just being very rude. And not only that, Hakeem Jeffries got tortured by President Trump, and not only by President Trump, by a child too that asked him a question. We're about to get into all of it. So let's dive straight into it. Look at this by Gunther Eagleman. He said Ilhan Omar has been given 10 days to cough up documents on her ties to the massive Somali Feeding Our Future fraud scandal. Minnesota House Fraud Prevention Committee is done waiting after she skipped the hearing. Remember, I showed y'all the video the other day, just in case a lot of you didn't see it. I'll show y'all some of that video in just a second. The same congresswoman who's been dodging questions while millions in kids' meal money vanish into luxury cars and fraud. Clock ticking Ilhan. So right now, they are done playing. President Trump and his DOJ is done playing with Ilhan Omar right now. She just humiliated. That's just what it is. She's starting to get the worst news ever because now they starting to cram everything into just one big old knot of what this woman been doing, especially after you skip the hearing that they asked you multiple times to come to and you refuse. So like I said, it's just so much stuff that's going on now and she can't get away from it. So if y'all see this right here, it says Minnesota lawmakers are demanding records from Representative Ilhan Omar after she skipped a hearing on a fraud scandal involving the Feeding Our Future program. The program, which received federal funds for children's food assistance, was accused of misusing the money, with 65 people already charged and convicted. Omar, who is linked to the scandal through her association with a restaurant involved, was asked to provide communications by May 5th. And Minnesota State Representative Kristen Robbins criticized Omar for not testifying because Kristen Robbins was the one who reached out to her. She said she didn't hear back from Ilhan Omar. She just pretty much ignored her. But anytime she get on camera, Ilhan Omar got so much stuff to say about President Trump. And by the way, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comment section who all stayed to the very end. I appreciate all of you because you definitely help me out a lot when you let me know who all stayed to the end in the comment section. So let's get straight into this right here.
Here in the U.S., an investigation into what Congresswoman Ilhan Omar knew about fraud in her state hit a roadblock. The Minnesota Democrat was supposed to appear at a state hearing into possible connections between her and a massive fraud scandal during the pandemic. Instead, she was a no-show. News Nation has been all over this story from the very start. The program Feeding Our Future was accused of taking millions of dollars from the federal government to provide food assistance to children. 65 people have already been charged and convicted in that scandal. They took the money for themselves instead. Now, Minnesota lawmakers are trying to sort out what Congresswoman Omar knew, and if anything, they've demanded that she turn over any communications that she might have had with Feeding Our Future by May 5th. News Nation investigative correspondent Rich McKee has more on the search for answers.
Minnesota lawmakers say Representative Ilhan Omar has ghosted them, that she did not respond to their invitation to show up for
All right, I
hearing
gotta slip on my
Friday.
headphones
She
for
has
this.
not yet complied to turn over documents or communications that they have been asking for. State Representative Kristen Robbins, she's the chair of the Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and State Oversight Committee, says Omar refused to testify before the
So Ilhan Omar set up this whole thing. She pretty much let down the guardrails for this fraud to start. So now she don't even want to show up to me because she thinks she's too good. She don't have to do. She just feel like she can just do whatever she wants. But that right there is not going to happen.
She created the conditions that allowed all these bad actors to come in and bill for thousands of meals a day, a week. I mean, it was incomprehensible numbers. One little tiny restaurant serving 5,000 meals a day, 7 days a week.
And we first reported on that restaurant last November, the Safari restaurant, where Omar was a fixture and held campaign parties. The restaurant, which seats about 35, supposedly served 18,000 meals a day. Robbins is asking for Omar's communications, written and electronic, with the now convicted owners of that restaurant and with over a dozen people convicted in the Feeding Our Future scandal.
Yep.
The American people and certainly the taxpayers of Minnesota deserve her to come and answer these questions. If she had nothing to do with it, if she had no ill intent, if she had no idea, she should come and defend that. The fact that she ghosted us, she would not even respond to multiple inquiries.
Look at that. She ghosted them. Wouldn't respond. So you know how it is. If you knew you didn't have nothing, if I'm Ilhan Omar, I'm showing up. Look, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? They asked me to help, and that's what I was doing. I knew nothing. But when you just ghost somebody and you know what it's all about, then that kind of make you look very, very guilty. And I'm telling y'all right now that I bet you 10 times out of 10, Ilhan Omar knew what she was doing. She knew that they was frauding. Why you think her net
Fraud.
worth went up towards 30 million? Now that she's been under investigation, now she's saying, "Oh, I'm not a millionaire anymore. I'm only worth $18,000 to $98,000." What? Oh, it was an accountant error. Now it's an accountant error since you got caught. You got to be freaking kidding me.
To, a state legislature where she used to serve. I think it shows disdain for Minnesota taxpayers that she's unwilling to even answer these questions.
Now, Robbins gave Omar a May 5th deadline to respond to their questions in writing, produce the documents and communications that they are asking for. We have reached out to Representative Ilhan Omar and asked why she didn't go to this hearing, and if she's going to comply. We have yet to hear back.
You ain't going to hear back.
Rich McHugh, thanks so much.
Thank you for...
And y'all see that, like I said, even News Nation said they reached out and she just not answering. The only time she gonna answer if it's from CNN. Like, she gotta go somewhere for where it ain't gonna be no pushback. She's only gonna answer to CNN, ABC, MSDNC. Them the only places she going. That's the only places she going. She ain't going nowhere where she gotta answer questions. But it continues to go on.
Financial disclosures had said the estate of Omar and her husband, Tim Minett, jumped from being in debt to somewhere between $6 million and $30 million in 2024. They amended their financial disclosure and released it to show the estate is really somewhere between $18,000 and $95,000. They blame the discrepancy as much as $29 million on an accountant who did not subtract the liabilities of Minett's businesses.
That's crazy.
This is the same congresswoman who championed the Meals Act. That was the COVID relief program intended to provide food for poor kids suffering during the pandemic. Republicans say that created the pathway for the Feeding Our Future scandal, a $250 million boondoggle of meals billed but never provided. A restaurant at the center of the scandal was the Safari restaurant. Omar held campaign events there. One of the owners, Salem Ahmed Saeed, was convicted for his role in the scandal. The Republican chair of the House Fraud Committee made repeated requests for Omar to show up. No response from Omar.
So y'all, as y'all see, she's not responding to anybody. She ain't responding to nobody. Everybody that's asking her questions about this, about her and her husband's business, about this net worth from now you was worth 30 million. Now you saying you ain't worth that no more. Now all of a sudden in 24 hours you're not a millionaire anymore. It was just an accountant error. Now you got to blame your accountant. Now she got to lie to her accountant and tell her accountant, look, just come out and just say it was your fault just so I don't go down. And that's exactly what she did. But ain't it something when you got a dollar store Barack Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, he got so much to say about President Trump. So much. Every time he get on the microphone, he's slandering President Trump. He's slandering anybody that supports President Trump. But when it comes to one of his own, I don't know anything about Ilhan Omar. It just a right-wing, conspiracy that they going after her because of her network. Also, now since they're one of his own, he ain't got nothing to say. This is the same person who took up for Eric Swalwell. Think about it. Look what Eric Swalwell just got caught doing, and you got Timu, Barack Obama, Hakeem Jeffrey acting like he don't know what's going on. Look at this.
Hi, Leader Jeffries. Good to see you. Just curious to get your thoughts on Ilhan Omar's financial disclosure. Does all of the scrutiny around that concern you at all, and does that warrant an official House ethics investigation?
That issue has not been brought to my attention, but we do know that Ilhan Omar, who works hard on behalf of the people that she represents in Minnesota.
The people she represents is the Somalis in Minnesota is who she represents. She told you that. She did. She said she represents the Somalis first. And that's what she's been doing when stealing taxpayers' dollars. But you got this clown right here don't want to call out Ilhan Omar because she's one of them.
On behalf of the people that she represents in Minnesota is constantly under attack by right-wing conspiracy theorists.
Oh my God!
Well, what about her net worth going from 30 million to now under 100,000? Do you believe that's truly an accounting error, as she alluded to?
It's not an issue that I'm familiar with.
What about
so now it's not an issue he familiar with. He ain't familiar with that.
Winery that she is now dissolving from her financial disclosure?
We're working to stop this reckless war of choice in the Middle East, get the economy back on track. Win this gerrymandering war that Donald Trump started that we're going to finish. It's not an issue that...
Hey, that's the best way to get out of something. Just bring up Donald Trump. He ain't even talking about... The reporter's not talking about Donald Trump. She's talking about Ilhan Omar, how she went from 30 million to all of a sudden now saying she only worth to $95,000, and he want to bring up the Middle East and Donald Trump. This is what they do. But I want to get back to this just in case a lot of you didn't see the hearing that I showed the other day. This is just some of them. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I think it was 6 or 7 minutes, but I'm only going to play some of this right here. And this is what Christian Robbins was saying. Because like I said, Ilhan Omar didn't show up.
Of that bill was something called the Meals Act, which was Representative Ilhan Omar's actual bill that she got incorporated into this larger coronavirus package. And that Meals Act is what took the guardrails down on eligibility, on using the meals no longer had to be consumed on site. They could be for a group, not for an individual. And so the Meals Act really is what loosened the guardrails on the whole federal nutrition program that led to the scandal we have seen that we now call Feeding Our Future, but was actually much broader than that. In lieu of her testimony, we're going to hear from Representative Omar herself from a video that she recorded for Somali TV. It was from the spring of 2020.
marka waxaan fursad u helnay in aan sharci soo gudbino oo la dhahayo Meals.
I plan to follow up with her staff or her directly if she would provide testimony on the record or in a written response about, why she brought that, how that actually materially affected the ability of restaurants like Safari, where this video was filmed, which was the #1 meal site sponsor in all of the Feeding Our Future site sponsors. They got $12 million and they were later indicted. So I think understanding her role in this is very important for the history of understanding this case.
When Stauber voted for that bill as well, are you planning to bring him as well, Madam Chair?
He wasn't the author of the bill.
Okay.
So I think she was the author of the bill, and she brought that to this larger coronavirus relief package. And so I think understanding her intention and her communication with MDE over that issue, still many unanswered questions about that.
Sense from looking at the video that her intention was, it's pretty clear, which was to make sure that the kids are fed. I don't know if there's sort of more detail you're looking for in particular beyond that, but that seemed sort of clear to me. But I guess we'll see if she's got more to say regarding that.
Absolutely, and I do think that was at least her stated intention in the video. But the video was filmed at Safari Restaurant, which was now charged and convicted for participating in the fraud. And at the time in the video, she references 2,300 meals a day. They eventually got to, I believe, 6,000 or 7,000 meals a day, which defies understanding. They were clearly involved with her and her promoting Safari from the beginning. And I think understanding that relationship is part of understanding the larger context of how this happened in Minnesota specifically. Other states didn't see the level of nutrition fraud that we did.
So salute to Kristen Robbins. You see, she's not playing around with Ilhan Omar. She want answers. And like I said, with Ilhan Omar, like I said, she was refusing, you know what I'm saying, to show up to this hearing. That's just what it was. And like I said, though, the reporting how Hakeem Jeffries, treated this young lady, just pretty much lying to her. He wanted to talk about the Middle East and President Trump instead of talking about what Ilhan Omar just got caught doing. That's what he wants to talk about. Investigations are ramping up into Somalia. Representative Ilhan Omar's fraud, and even the Minnesota House Fraud Committee is obtaining documents from her. Let's check this clip out.
Ilhan Omar's been under investigation for allegedly marrying her brother so he could immigrate to either a European country or America from Somalia. His name, Ahmed Nir Saad Elmi. They divorced, and then he fled the country. Does that seem a little bit odd to you?
When I started talking about her latest episodes of what seemingly corrupt behavior, I heard from more people at home, former people from your business. One channel in particular, these guys are retired now, told me that they had the information on Ilhan back in 2013 or 14 when she was first on the rise in Minnesota politics, and their station would not play the story because Minnesotans are afraid of being called names like racist or xenophobe or Islamophobe.
Are you talking about a local station in Minnesota?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Look, I know Tom Homan was on last night somewhere because I heard that he was talking about they are digging into her files as we speak.
That's exactly right. Tom Homan, I think he was talking to Benny Johnson. Salute to Benny Johnson. I think Tom Homan was talking to Benny Johnson pretty much saying, look, we got Ilhan Omar right where we want her, but I just can't spill the beans just yet. And that's exactly what Tom Homan had to say. So let's move on over here to Dollar Store Barack Obama, because President Trump went off on him. Look at this. Even Edgar Dollar said Trump just bodied Hakeem Jeffries. So let's go down here and read what President Trump posted. You can see right here coming from Truth Social. He said Hakeem Hot Tax Jeffries is a low IQ individual who is not smart enough to be running the Democrat Party, and certainly not smart enough to be involved in running the United States of America. It's people like this who almost destroyed our nation with their high-tax, open border policies. In the future, Hakeem, a fine American name, will forever be known as high tax. Maximum warfare everywhere all the time, Hakeem Jeffries. And there it is what President Trump posted about Hakeem Jeffries. He just said, you know what, I'm sick of it. He didn't just go off on Hakeem Jeffries. He went off on Candace Owens, too. I don't know what it is. It seems like Candace Owens, who else? Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly. It's like they all just in the straight turned on President Trump. It's like it's weird. And he said Candace Owens' stock, which was never very high, has fallen a long way. Her attack on the First Lady of France is despicable. I believe in this case, without verification, she's an extremely low IQ individual. And he posted this video. I mean, not video, but this picture of Candace Owens. So it's just been a lot going on, man. So this is another clip I wanted to show y'all right here when it's a kid. I don't know how old this kid is, but the kid seems like he's maybe 9 years old, 10 years old maybe. And check out what he asked Hakeem Jeffries. So the kid asked, why do voters view Democrats so poorly? Let's go.
Why do voters view Democrats so poorly?
Did your dad give you that question? It's a great question in that.
he couldn't even say nothing. The child asked Jeffries why voters view them so poorly. And did your dad give you that question? Oh my God, man, this is insane. So it's another thing that's been going on is that I showed y'all a video like Hakeem Jeffries been attacking Ron DeSantis, saying that he better not do this, or he better do this, or I'm gonna come after him. Ron DeSantis like, Hakeem Jeffries, bring it on. Bring it on, whatever you want to do. Check out this clip right here.
Hakeem Jeffries. Have you guys heard of him? I don't know that he'd do very well in Chipley if he ran for office, but he's threatening Florida. Oh, you do the redistrict. We're going to come down. We're going to get you guys, all this stuff. Go ahead. Make my day. Bring it on.
We gonna do the man. Like, I don't know. He be thinking he be scaring people, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Now, the last clip I want to show y'all is this guy right here, man. He just absolutely went off on Hakeem Jeffrey, pretty much saying, "Hey,
That double shot, I hate it, man.
the next Jasmine Crockett, the way she be talking all ghetto and stuff like that, and we already know Jasmine Crockett is done. After this year, she's gone. She's already begging for a job."
Hakeem Jeffries, who's a Democrat representative who has been making his rounds the last year, just talking a whole bunch of shenanigans. Him and DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has been going back and forth on social media last week. And let me tell you, Hakeem got to be one of the most embarrassing politicians we have. He does a news press conference, he gets on, and he basically says, "You're going to F around and find out." I'm assuming he was saying that to DeSantis, who, by the way, is probably the best governor in this country we've had in God know how long.
Yep.
DeSantis seems to be the only Republican politician that has been getting things done in terms of signing new laws. The people of Florida loves him. I'm in Texas. I love him. I don't agree with a lot of things, but the majority, I want to say I agree with 80% of the things that he has done and he has accomplished. Okay, he has that traditional conservative value trait. But for me, it's like when you look at someone like Hakeem, you're questioning the position of future politicians. Like, is this what this is about now? Or why are you talking as if you're from the hood, as if you're from the ghetto? I don't get it, man. And this is what I mean when I say these politicians, all they care about is being famous.
Yep.
Like he's trolling. This is clickbait to him. Every time
Alright, there's my base. I'm just gonna make a beeline for it.
I don't know if the Democratic Party is trying to make him more.
Oh, I gotta go to a.
Who, by the way, is going to lose her job by the end of the year.
Yep.
I don't know if they're trying to make him relatable to the urban community and the way he talks. But it's a disaster. It's a disaster. He goes and he claims that he's ready to
Do it this way.
He says he's ready to debate Donald Trump. On what? What are you going to debate him about? You know what I mean? Like these Democrats, I'm ready to debate on what?
Oh my God.
The party for the last 30, 40, 50 years has just been in shambles. It has gotten worse decade after decade after decade.
Yep.
The shit that you all gave us for 4 years under Joe Biden, we will forever remember that. Nobody wants to see you debate about things that you should have did 4 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago. You all are keep debating about the same old shit year after year after year, whether there's a mayor, whether there's a governor, whatever the case. The same year, and yet we get worse and worse year after year after year. You can't make this up. Understand, people, Republicans, the last 40 years, Democrats have held majority of not only the House and the presidency and the White House and Congress and all these things, majority of the time in the last 56 years. So what is it that you want to debate Donald Trump about? I mean, this guy he's a goofball, dude.
He is.
He's a straight nerd. Like a nerd. You know the nerds that just, it's like they're frustrated, right? That's what he is. What are you talking about?
So, there we go right there. So, y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about this. Like I said, I will keep y'all up to date as more information comes out. But you can see, boy, Ilhan Omar, she's just continuing to get the worst news ever from President Trump and President Trump's DOJ. And we see what Tom Emmer is saying. Like, they're not holding back. They are sick of it. And she's still running around here, running her mouth like ain't nothing going to happen. And then you seen Hakeem Jeffrey getting caught out by a kid. He didn't know what to say. He just froze. So like I said, once again, thank you all for watching. And like I said, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. You got your notifications on. That way you can stay up to date when I bring you more information about what's going on. So once again, thank you all for watching. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Fortnite. It's one of the most played video games in the world that helped popularize an entirely new genre of battle royale shooters and has massively impacted both pop culture and internet culture in a variety of ways. For better or for worse, I'll let you be the judge of that. With literally millions of people playing the game at any given time, there's ample opportunity for humorous interactions, gamer rage, and hijinks to take place as a result of Fortnite. While much silliness has spawned from the popularity of this game, what's often not talked about are the various arrests and criminal cases stemming from Fortnite's existence. Yes, there are people out there literally going to jail over what is essentially
All right, I don't know what's going on with him. I used to listen to the quartering, but
from Brittany Venti.
he got so petty, it was annoying.
That was actually able to cross over and be successful. They almost the same person. Anyway, let's check out this video she did about the koi ring. Because he is wilding out right now. Don't forget to hit the hype button, all that good stuff.
Let me tell you this about Venti.
Hey, what's up, Charles? What's up, Amber? How y'all doing?
Let's do either. I would give everything I had to have babies with that girl.
Well, thank you for joining.
All my kids.
Brittany, I would never need it and want it that bad. Let me make sure he said that about Brittany. Let me double check.
Let me tell you this about Venti. I would give everything I had to have babies with that girl. Even
Nah, it's never that serious. My bad. I'm not gonna pause like crazy, but it's never that serious, Quarterman. Eesh. This dude's simping out. She alright. You know what I mean? She be burping a lot though. That kind of... Even if she didn't burp, I think it's extreme what he's saying. That is crazy.
even though all my kids look like sharks, I mean, more about Brittany Venti. Nobody gives a such favorite asshole. I'm just trying to be nice. This gets me in trouble online apparently. And those same dumbass horror women turn around and pretend like they were begging you for help, and then
Hey, what's up, medium?
try to paint you as some sort of creeper. I definitely want to have sex with Brittany Venti.
What's going on, everyone? Brittany from The Venting here. The quartering has gone woke, and everyone's channels are under attack. There's a lot of scandals and controversy with this, including the platforming, the Wisconsin bull, alcoholism, blackout stream.
I got the sharp comment now. That's crazy. She alright though.
Begging his audience for money when he's a multi-millionaire, being a simp, trying to get a crumb of coochie from every attractive woman in any mile radius.
By the way, Lauren Southern's sister is also super fucking hot. Lauren Southern or Tommy Lahren? Lauren Southern, that's easy. I'll take a girl with some hips. She got some hips. Tommy?
I find in my personal interaction with Lauren Southern, she's been wildly manipulative. And Lauren Southern, much like many of the other female conservatives I thought was a friend of mine, only to find out later that they had a secondary DM group where they would talk garbage about me all the time. And pathetic. She told me she was destitute too. She told me she had no money. She then told me the offer I gave her, which was more than generous, wasn't enough money.
I've noticed that this is a repeated pattern of behavior. Jeremy goes to simple women, he expects something out of it for being a nice guy, and then when it doesn't work out, he becomes a sour simp.
To have white skull candy headphones, I think they're so cool. And I finally bought myself some, and I was like, this is nice, I'm upgrading.
Yeah, well, you could probably put. I miss my skull candy headphones, bro. I think they stopped making the ones that I kept buying over and over again. Pretty messed up. Those are like my favorite ones. But apparently, they was like, nah, we gonna stop making these. I'm like, damn. But these are decent too. Don't feel as good as my old skull candy headphones.
On your wiki feed or whatever, Amazon.
Yeah, they do that shit to me all the time, man. As soon as they find out I like something, they stop making it. It's bullshit.
She talked
They do it on purpose.
About me in these feminist DM groups after I paid for everything with the Publica.
It's a conspiracy against
me. She never
me.
paid a single fucking penny for anything at that company. I lost $100,000 or more. Jeremy confirmed doormat. Yeah.
He throws money at them, expecting something a little more out of them while claiming that they're his friends. You don't really make intimate, romantically charged comments to your female friends, especially not when you're married and a conservative. Jeremy Hambley from The Quartering got famous because he spammed the YouTube algorithm enough times with his milquetoast content, and any competition he would have had got banned off of the platform. He was an anti-cancel culture, anti-woke, free speech advocate, up until now, where he has successfully utilized his influence of 2 million subscribers and his, quote, non-Indian YouTube representative to get the Kino Casino banned. And the reason he felt that it was okay to do this? Harassment of his wife, aka cyberbullying.
No beef with you, bro, outside of a little bro thing you did, bro. By flagging down videos, bro, on YouTube, bro, because they made fun of you, bro. That's pretty soft, bro. That's softer than, like, Baby do, bro.
The Kino Casino is a comedy channel. They live stream on Kick, and they had a YouTube channel. And one of their segments was to make fun of Jeremy because of his constant need to overshare. He has a long history of oversharing, most infamously for his bowels being under attack.
The tooth is out there, pal.
I have anxiety diarrhea.
He has anxiety diarrhea!
I had, like, a diarrhea moment. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go. The men's room, and there was shit all over the place. All over.
And he thinks saying this to women are gonna get them to like him more? Whoa. That makes me uncomfortable. If a woman said that to me, I'll be definitely not into it. But I don't think that's gonna be good to say to anybody if that's what you're seeking. Also, you shouldn't be seeking that. I ain't married.
The toilet, all like, you know, it's overflowing out of the toilet. It was on the back wall of the toilet. Well, just shit in the garbage can.
This turns into people tracking the literal trail of destruction he left behind.
So he's leaving a trail of smears all the way from the shoe section to the electronics department.
Were you leaving a trail? Were you leaving a trail? Yeah, there was a little bit. There was a little bit on the ground. Because nobody shops for shoes at Walmart.
What?
I like, shit in a shoe.
Money, he's gonna shit in the shoe box. Money, not a shoe food.
Yeah, I think if there's any moment to do this right now, probably be the best of times to press this button right here. Wow. Why ain't play?
Yeah.
You nasty fan, you nasty. You nasty fan, you nasty. You nasty fan, you nasty. You nasty fan, you
In some way, she is gonna have to clean it up. Jan.
I hit the back wall. I hit the back wall.
Detour. So like, this guy's now drawing it in real time. There is a little bit of shit that's going down Jeremy's leg and hitting the floor.
I'm on the home stretch. With each step, a little more is coming out.
Unfortunately, Jeremy could not make the bathroom in time, leaving his usual racing stripes in his underwear.
You know, women probably never had to clean pee off the toilet seat before they lived with a man. Women probably never had to wash racing stripes out of underwear before living with men.
It's really no wonder why he's in a committed relationship with his bidet.
Nigga. Well, if that helps, get one of those. If that helps, I was gonna say they can get some baby wipes, right? I use dude wipes, right? Make sure I'm extra good. Actually, I hop in the shower after. I'm serious, guys. That's a thing that I don't ever want to happen to me. What he's describing, I will literally wait until I have to shower before I use the bathroom, or just shower multiple times. Like when I was sick and had the flu, nigga, I was taking like 30 showers a day just because I don't feel comfortable not being clean. I can't sit down and have the Jeremy thing going on. My bad.
When I travel now, the bidet is a thing I miss. I mean, I'll just say it. I miss it more than I miss my wife and I miss my dog. No. For 200 grand a year.
It does sound crazy. But the day when I went to Japan, I was against it. And then when I left, I was like, I want to get one for my house. But not like the way that he's saying. I want like the toilets that they have to have it built into it. Never mind. But I wouldn't be sitting here over and over talking about that detail. Especially if it wasn't brought up during the reaction.
I'm going barehanded picking up each turd pile. I don't even care.
And poor Jeremy just doesn't seem to understand why we make fun of it, even though he's openly sharing it, as if that magically makes it less gross.
Nope, sorry, Walmart janitor. I hope the comment was worth it, but no panic diarrhea.
I guess I'm not allowed to share stories because if I share a story, it gets turned around against me, like even though I willingly.
Welcome to the internet, Jeremy.
Poor Jeremy.
Yeah.
Can't overshare anymore.
Welcome to the internet. That's why people don't share stories about shitting themselves.
Okay with people making fun of him, and he said this over and over.
Do you
but
believe this,
clearly
buddy?
he isn't. If now he can't overshare, he immediately tries to deplatform people for making fun of him because his wife is off the table. She's not an internet person.
Spent much time thinking about how to best handle the issues with harassment and cyberbullying in Magic. My wife has long been a victim of these actions. No evidence of that, of course. His wife is a nobody. No one would know who she is if she wasn't married to him, so I find that extraordinarily hard to believe.
And he's like, I'm being harassed, and my wife is getting these phone calls and these packages in the mail, and death threats. Provide some proof there, Jerry Smollett. There's no proof of any of this, and by the way, even if there was, we have nothing to do with that. He's using his wife as a human shield to silence criticism.
During all of this cry bullying he did, talking about how they're
Hey, thanks for joining.
They're not that expensive, pretty easy to install if you want one. I've been thinking about that. I wish I knew the exact type of one that they used in Japan when I went over there. I don't want to experiment with that kind of stuff. But I am going to look into that. I heard they're expensive though. Like if you want a good one, they're expensive. How you doing, Ren?
making jokes on details that he elected to share on stream about his own life. You would think with someone saying that their wife is a non-internet person that they wouldn't go and post her on their community tab after crying about harassment. But not only that, Jeremy Hamble.
If I have a wife, girlfriend, whatever, you ain't never gonna see that on the internet. I don't post pictures of my family on here. None of that.
Here decided to actually call his wife to come on stream to try to get more donations utilizing her body.
Once she comes down, I'm gonna let her off the hook quick. I'm just have her do the job, show her boobs, everyone, as Nick promised. Yep. But only if you ordered can you look. And then I'll read every single super chat and respond to every single one of them. There she is. Hi.
Funny how he's not very protective of his wife when it comes to her dignity.
There's a guy at work who claimed that vegan didn't smell. Well, I can tell you this. My wife has been a vegetarian, and you can tell the difference.
You don't just get to make someone part of your content and mention them constantly. You know, suddenly declare, actually, she's a private person.
He's not a comedian, nigga. And even if that's the case, comedians don't show their family. So you can put a face.
Like, are all these clips from the same show, or does he like often talk about taking shits?
As a ploy to either get subscriptions or money and even a laugh. But if someone else speaks about her, no, how dare you? Also, stop posting pictures of her too.
When it's convenient.
Are you more or less attracted to me right now than you were 10 minutes ago?
I think you really want to know the answer.
And the most interesting part here is that apparently she put him up to this whole thing of getting them deplatformed. He says it here in the message himself. But also, my wife is not an internet person. Absolutely guilty of hypocrisy. Let's talk about the mythos of the Wisconsin Bowl. Jeremy has a friend, a long-term friend, that he often mentions by first name on his own stream, and it turns out that this guy, who publicly had his full name on Twitter as his username, with his profile picture of himself, people found his Reddit account and figured out that he frequents cuckolding subreddits. Him and his wife proactively partake in swinging, and Jeremy brings him around, him and his wife.
Bro, bring your fucking wife's big old boobs and bring her over to our house. It's 9:20. I think you could be to my house by 10. I want to see your wife's big old boobs at my house in the hot tub. Hot tub's toasty.
Yo, and they okay with talking about each other's wives like that? Oh, this is crazy. That's different.
Ready for you, bud.
Upon discovering this Wisconsin Bull, people found out that he also had a DV record, a very long criminal record. And Jeremy's over here inviting this guy over, and the Wisconsin Bull's wife comes over to Jeremy's house to clean, which is odd because from looking through his stuff, he seems pretty wealthy.
Shout out to his wife. She is here helping keep our house clean.
But
yeah, he is gross. 100%, I agree with you. How you doing, Blue? Yeah, he is gross.
We're the crazy ones for talking about his open marriage. That's why people started talking about the Bull. He claims in his DMs with Josh Moon that he totally didn't know about this guy's swinging, which is contradicted later on that week, where Jeremy goes on stream and says he's going to play darts with him next week.
Our world, the abyss, and reality itself will unravel. You must restore.
Is Adam coming over today? No, we have darts probably next week.
But meanwhile, on Josh Moon's DMs,
hey, what's up?
Calling him the fairy word, and he didn't know about this degeneracy. He said he converted to Christianity after Charlie Kirk's death, and yet he continues to live this lifestyle. And not only that, but if you look at his thumbnails, he often
nothing. We're just working on my base.
Thumbnails. And even after this, the Bull still had his own special.
And even though I'm Christian, I'm not trying to be like the Christian know-it-all or judge. I'm telling people what's Christian or not. That do seem odd. That seems very crazy. I don't know what type of time he's on.
Role in Jeremy's Discord, the one doing the most damage.
Well, one of the things I know about Christianity is judge not lest thee be judged. So,
that's not the only instance
yeah,
of this weird open marriage kind of thing that he pretends to not have. He talks about how he doesn't get too personal with his female employees.
As a general rule, I don't try to get too personal with my female employees or cohorts. I don't ask them a lot of questions like that. You know, I just keep it to business. That's how you stay out of trouble, and you stay, you know, keep everybody feeling comfortable.
Thank you.
But then proceeds to talk about his co-host Melanie Mack's breasts.
If you're in the
no, I have an artist that works for me. Her Discord is down in the lower left. The Julianne789. That's my artist.
And his co-host is a now married and has been.
She designed
quite some time now.
Yeah, she designed all my overlays and my
I just wanted to point this out that he's very
my
hypocritical and
VTuber model.
lying, especially about not
The little avatar, the sensei.
Would be okay with his wife being talked about like that? That's nuts. Like what? Is it because she's under payroll? I don't think that's okay.
Women.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you offhand because it took so long. I mean, we've been working so long together. It probably costs like all my artwork probably close to $1,000. Probably somewhere in that.
I did try some woman's breast milk at work, and it really pissed off.
But I also have a 2D avatar model that I'm including in all that, so.
I would have been upset. No, I never
And then like,
Also, why did she offer it to you? Was this the one that was like, "You're my work husband"?
yes, that's who it was.
He's like so against work-wise, but then he'll drink their breast milk when they call him their work husband. And not only that, he's now telling his female co-workers about this. Totally inappropriate. And that's not the only time he's done that. Obviously, you guys saw the clips at the video.
That's one of the reasons why I help advertise for her
Then
too.
when I called him out on trying to
She's a
deplatform
good
the
worker.
casino,
She
his
does
tune
good work.
changed.
I really think you guys can do it. If you spend like, if you double the amount of time you're spending on my stream being mad, I think Brittany might actually see it, and she might let you touch a boob.
He's pretending like he never simped for me. He's a sour simp.
Don't know what. Quote more about Brittany Venti. Nobody gives a fuck about that dumb bitch. Are you joking? You guys do, because she's about 40 and she's still single and childless.
It turns out...
Is she 40? How old is Brittany Venti?
Yeah,
Like she in her
well,
40s.
Julianne's been with me since the beginning.
29. She's not even in her 30s.
And,
That's crazy.
yeah,
She went through
I've been working with her
years of her life. How old
probably,
is the quartering?
I don't know, we're probably coming close to a year.
How old is he?
I don't think it's quite,
Too old to be acting like this.
yeah, I don't think it's quite a year, but I think we're coming up on a year.
40s. Okay. Yikes.
He's the one with fertility issues, considering his search history.
Because I haven't been quite doing this for, I haven't been streaming for a year yet.
Still don't have kids.
And like,
Damn, I've never really been a fan of Brittany.
I hooked up with her probably within the first
Destroying him right now.
maybe month or two of working. I have a different overlay that she did for me too. There's a bunch of stuff.
It's fine that they couldn't have children.
Originally, I had
a little bit insensitive to.
she did banners for me and stuff.
This whole thing is just a production.
I had an original a night theme.
And using the litter box.
Hopefully she can get enough money to pay somebody.
No, I do. I just never set them up. Here, hang on a
You
second.
guys could do it.
Meanwhile, he can't even make the toilet himself. He has to piss in his basement.
I just peed in my basement.
And shitting himself in the Walmart. How much do you want to bet that if Gina Carano came out and said that she was against Jeremy's deplatforming, that he would become a sour simp for her too?
Okay, how much does Gina?
Yeah, these were my
out of 10?
original
Either
ones.
9 or an 11. Which one is
See,
it?
these were my original panels for starting soon.
Romance were like, I'm the best friend. I'm like a
That's my original cat cam.
And then she just keeps banging all these other dudes.
His own fantasy.
I'm trying to find the original. Yeah, see, I got a lot of stuff I didn't even put up yet.
Why would you even fantasize about that? This nigga, yo, he's
Here,
a
this was.
weirdo, bro.
She did this one for me.
And she don't even look that comfortable around him in this picture.
She did this for me.
He had it time stamped and dated.
Like, I think we could do that. She could just keep hooking up with fit dudes.
So yeah, she did a lot of work.
And then, like, they don't make her laugh, you know? They don't get her. And then there's me. Oh, you look tired. Did you bang another dude?
It might be, but I mean, yeah, she did a lot of work for me.
It just don't happen in real life. Not the way you saying. Wow, and ain't you married? Got a whole wife.
Oh, sweet. Like, my heart.
Even if it is AI, I don't care. I mean, she did work I didn't have to do. I mean, that's basically what it is. And besides that, I don't know how to do it. So.
Say to not throw stones or something. Meanwhile, his wife is attractive. She keeps herself in shape. She takes care of herself. And
Yeah, I don't know what to put there.
Humiliates her and walks around like a slob dressed in his poopy palette. He should put some coffee brand coffee.
I have them. I haven't set them up. I have like a ton of emotes too that I haven't set up.
This is crazy. Hey, what's up, Third? How you doing? But damn.
Yeah, I'll eventually get into that stuff.
Who bought coffee from this nigga? I would never buy coffee from him. If he was selling it in person, you buy coffee? If he walked up,
I could do it. I'm just lazy.
This guy was like, hey, I got some coffee. Would you like to try? Y'all gonna try it? Like, what's the name? Coffee. No, like, what's the name of the brand? Coffee. Okay, yeah, get away from me, sir. Weirdo. Me either.
Yeah, hang
The
on.
damn show wouldn't want no damn coffee from this nigga. Crazy.
As long as it's not 100% genetic.
Where you at? Where's all my pendings? Did you send me a request? I don't think you ever did. Because I don't have one. Hang on. Is that it? I hope so.
What's going on, y'all? I wanted to check out this video about Hassan Piker. I heard him say some nasty things recently, pretty much saying that he thought that theft was okay. And I want to see a lawyer break it down. You guys sent me this, so let's check it out. Don't forget
Hey,
to
no
hit that
problem.
button, watch more videos.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations. Yeah, no, I'm pro piracy all the way, like across the board. We gotta get back to cool crimes like that, like bank robberies. Chaos, full chaos. Let's go.
You really think he in Ocean's 11? This is the thing that he's on his crown.
Look,
Hassan Piker is hyping theft and lawlessness. We're getting into the absolute chaos that would ensue if we followed this insane worldview. Today, on The Legal Mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a Fast Facts video, the quick and nerdy version of the latest in legal news. So let's get right into the clips with the latest in Hassan's insane takes on theft.
Would you steal from Whole Foods?
you want to go first?
And this is a real fun part to start because when you see here, he defers to the audience, he defers to the interviewer, and this is very much on point and going to be consistent through everything Hassan does, where he really is just going with what opinion he feels is popular, what opinion he feels is safe in that space, right? That's really what he's going for here, is thinking, okay, I'm going to come into this and see how cool they think theft is, and then we're going to riff from there. And that's really an overall theme in all of this interview that he did.
Well,
Hi, guys.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations because, you know, they steal quite a bit more from their own workers. However,
and this is kind of the big gift here. He wants to, and other people want to go off of, okay, we hate corporations, therefore theft is okay. But the problem is, if you start with corporations and normalizing theft and saying theft is okay in X circumstance, there really are no brakes on that crazy train. And you're going to see him try to cope and get over this time and time again in this interview.
One thing that might even help your ethical dilemma is the fact that the automated process that they design these companies know will increase shrink.
No, I play Hightail though.
So it's actually factored in. The lemons that you stole are factored into the bottom line of these mega corporations, regardless. And
that don't mean that you should be stealing it. And also, you rich, you a corporation. You saying people should steal from you? You saying that your mansion is open to everybody now? So nasty, bro.
They still end up having increased profit margins because they no longer have to pay the cashiers that they...
And this is categorically not true. There is a certain level of shrinkage that is, or loss that is factored in. However, at a certain point, corporations, as somebody who's worked with corporations knows, they are going to implement measures to stop that. So what they're going to do at a certain point is they're going to implement loss protection, right? They're going to do other things.
Start locking stuff up even more. Shoot, and start giving less to charity.
Even if you push them far enough, as you're going to see, they will close down stores.
They come here, they steal. Now what's going to happen to this neighborhood?
Shoplifting on a large scale has become a national crisis. Target's East Harlem store is one of 9 locations. It's closing nationwide, all for the same reason.
CVS, they're closing. These guys are shopping.
They're closing the Harlem Target? That's crazy. Wow. There's not many Targets in the city. Insane. It's crazy. I remember I used to do security for the mall around there years ago. That was a long time ago. Quit that shit. They was bugging.
If they're nothing right, it's horrible. The residents still have some choices.
Yup. I told y'all about this. I know the exact location. I told y'all that in the story time. Remember I was beefing with a supervisor?
Price for shoplifters. Get a job. So as you can see, there will be consequences if the shrinkage is not contained.
Used to hire as opposed to this automated system, knowing full well that people are still going to be able to steal a lot more efficiently as a matter.
So actually, I got some background information on that. They definitely were stealing from that Target. Without a doubt. Yeah. That Target was getting stolen from on a regular.
Matter of fact, through the automated process.
Totally. Well, I'll also...
And that's not the only thing. For example, there can also implement measures like RFID, etc., to stop that. There's plenty of ways to stop that. For example, the corporation can justify hiring 1 security guard, 2 security guards, right, instead of X amount of cashiers. There's ways to stop this. So his plan here, his thought process doesn't really break down in terms of even corporate logic inside a corporation. But what goes beyond that is a lot of the stores that you may think are corporations, they may have some big brand label. These may be franchises, may be owned by families, may be family run and operated. So these things that you think are big corporate may actually be stealing from somebody who is absolutely your neighbor.
Yeah. Well, what about the argument that if everyone would start stealing wantonly from these self-checkout machines, Whole Foods will eventually raise the prices?
Not just raise the prices, they will actually shut down the store. Target did this in 2003, once again, with 9 stores they shut down in San Francisco, New York, Portland, Seattle. So it's not just they're going to raise the prices, they're going to shut down the stores. And the stores are going to shut down are going to be in the areas with the poorest of people, with the people that maybe are committing these thefts, or areas that are very high in crime. So you're going to end up with areas that do not have stores, that literally do not have places for people to go to buy things, because those stores have just said, hey, we're just going to pull out of that area and not serve that area. So in the end, this ends up hurting stores in places that are the most vulnerable. And of course, the stores that are in Hassan's neighborhood, the wealthy neighborhoods of LA, those aren't going to shut down, right? That's not going to hurt.
I was just telling y'all, there's not many Targets in the city.
Him, so he really doesn't care. He just is putting this out there for a political talking point.
Yeah, chaos, full chaos. Let's go. I mean, look, I'm in favor of fast and free buses and also government-owned storefronts.
As if a culture of stealing wouldn't affect a government-run storefront. This is the most insane thing ever. Or wouldn't keep people, for example, from going on the bus without paying. Once you've created that culture of criminality and you've got it into people's heads that they can just steal, they're not suddenly going to stop stealing because they go to the grocery store and they're like, oh, well, this is government funded.
I barely even take the bus anyway. Yeah, it's too expensive. I will agree with that aspect of, yeah, like the trains and buses are way too expensive now, but I don't think you should encourage people to break the law or try to steal it and use it for free. Nigga, I walk. If I gotta go somewhere and I don't feel like taking the bus and it's too expensive, I will just walk.
All right, hang on. I gotta run and get something to drink right
I would
quick.
ride a bike, but I'm too
I'll be back in a minute.
nervous to ride a bike in the street.
Actually, give me 2 minutes because I think I'm gonna make a cocktail.
So I shouldn't steal from this. No.
When I lived down south, like I was riding my bike to and from work. Nigga, what? Zigzagging. Down the street. It was empty as hell, bro. Here, I could never do that.
They're going to say, hey, look, I'm not paying that much in taxes, or I don't care about, these other people paying taxes. I'm going to steal from this, or people from out of town, people from other places that aren't paying those taxes. Yeah, they're going to come in there and steal. So his whole dividing line here is not something that actually functions in reality.
And, two of those policies, the mayor of this beautiful city is currently working on.
Would you encourage stealing the same way from a Mendani-run city-owned grocery store with lower prices? And why?
I would not. Because I feel like that's taxpayer funded, and the prices are this union labor, and the prices are also adjusted regardless.
That is absolutely false, right? Once again, you're going to end up in a situation.
There's someone who lives in a city where they talk about he's lying. That's not true. I just told y'all how expensive it is to travel. Why is Hassan lying? That's crazy. Yo, this nigga's Yo, he's sitting there with a smile on too. Like if me being from the place, some of you guys will be hitting me up and asking me, right? Y'all see something in the news and be like, hey man, we know Beast Boy is over there. Yo, are you okay? Are you safe? Do you need to be evacuated, Beast Boy? I'm like, thank you, because it's insane over here. So I know that he's just talking out his ass. That's not true. You know how long it took for them to put snow machines out, start cleaning the damn city? They never did. They never put snow machines. Yo, you thought it was going to answer? It never happened. They let Mother Nature take care of it. Just to go down the street, I was stumping in snow when they got to my damn waist. They didn't send nothing out. They never do anything for the city. So this thing, he's bugging. Hassan is just talking out his ass. He's just saying that because his woke friend is the mayor.
Situation where these government stores would be stolen from as well. They'd face the exact same problem as the corporate store. What would be different, right? What would be
You said, yep, that's me. I was asking if you're okay when I see some crazy ish going down in this city. Yo, real talk, thank you. You be notifying me, because sometimes I don't be aware. Like, they doing what? Oh my gosh, let me look into this. Because I remember even when the snow thing happened, I was like, that does make sense. Why is the snow still out? Why is it snowy as hell?
Hold on, I'll be back in a sec.
And the snow is still like waist high. Damn, I didn't notice that. I'll be in my own world, and I don't really pay attention to the politics because I think it's all nasty, but yeah, that's facts. And I appreciate you guys for checking on me. I'll be letting me know what's happening. It's bad here. Let me just verify that. It's exactly what you think it is. Remember the old school movie, The Warriors? I'm joking. It ain't, yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit like The Warriors. Mad Max out here. My first job when I moved to NYC was a bike messenger. You brave. You one of the bravest souls I ever seen in my life. Bike messenger? You bugging in NYC? That's dangerous as hell. One of the most amazing jobs I ever had. Best summer of my life.
Hold on a second.
21 years ago. You gangster.
Ow.
I would never do that.
Oh,
job.
my wrist.
I know a bunch of people that did. Shoot, because I was a foot messenger.
Here.
Yes, that exists.
I gotta.
Want to ride bikes. They'll send you.
I got Buddy right here.
To go like pick up packages.
Let me click on the camera so you can see him.
one of the worst jobs I had in my life. I was there for like almost 2 years.
There,
too.
this is Buddy right here.
Hated that shit.
Come here, Buddy.
But I used to always bump into my friends doing the bike messaging. They'd be moving
Here's
quicker,
Buddy,
but it's more
the big
dangerous.
fat orange blob.
Nigga, I almost got hit by a car. I think I did get hit by a car. Like my first week. Yep, that's me. It's easy to talk like that while living in a mansion. Facts. In a gated community with no crime. In a gated community with no crime. All your stores are nice. Facts. What happens when the crazy audience Hassan is cultivated? Turn on him. It's gonna go down. It's gonna be like Animal Farm all over again.
Different in the minds of people that have now normalized that theft behavior, normalized that criminal behavior. There absolutely would be nothing different there at all. So that criminality would go through. And the people that would get caught for these crimes would be people that are perhaps the teenage listeners of Hassan that would end up now as career criminals that have got that in their system, would be put into the prison system, put into the penal system, and have that normalized for their lifetime. This would hurt extremely vulnerable people. But it doesn't end there for Hassan.
Yeah, no, I'm pro piracy all the way, like across the board. Would you pirate a car? Yes. Yeah, sure. If I could get away with it, if it was as easy as.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing there. It isn't easy, and the thing is, for a nepo baby like Hassan, who's only got experience riding polo horses, which he probably couldn't even steal anyways, right? But even at that point, right, it's not easy to do these things, or else other people would do them, right? These things are things that people would do if they were capable of doing them, but they're not. But encouraging petty retail theft, he's putting that out there as something that, once again, people can do, people might know how to do, but would cause massive amounts of problems all around the United States. And once again, would only end up hurting the very people in those communities, and also the poorest, perhaps the workers, etc. When they close down those stores, where are those workers going to go? Now, Target, when it closed down their stores in 2023, did transfer a lot of the employees, but not all of them are going to be there. Many of them
Not right now.
go. Other people, many of them will be let go, and some of them will not be rehired, etc. May not want to transfer to a new location. So this is just going to end up hurting people that actually need that money the most.
Pirating IP, I would do it.
Would you dine and dash from your local diner?
Never. Never. Except 35%.
Guys, tell me if my mic is good too. I just had technical difficulty where it disconnected. Hate my damn setup. But let me know if my mic is still working good. I had to reconnect it and everything. Yeah, I don't mess with that dine and dash and ish. I remember I got into a situation because half of the group that I was hanging out with decided they wanted to do that. And then the restaurant tried to get mad at me, and I'm like, nigga, I paid you for what I ate. The bill was gonna get split regardless, nigga. So we ended up we went all the way, like, damn near 20 blocks down to go grab them and bring them back to the store and make them pay for the damn meal. Y'all can hear me? Is it good? Thank you. But we was pissed because we was going for every like UFC event to go watch the fights at that bar. And for some reason we like, oh, the service sucks, so we ain't gonna. Nigga, why would you do that when you got a table full of people? That sounds stupid, bro. But yeah, I don't mess with that. I'm not doing that.
Mics, come on.
No, I wouldn't do that. And if I saw...
And once again, you see, as with the beginning, he waited for the response there and then saw, okay, everyone's against this, we're not going to do that. But the problem here is, once again, that a lot of those places you think are corporate are actually owned by mom and pops, right? And if you really get down to it and you start to go into this lawlessness, etc., you're going to see people, families defending their businesses. We're going to end up with a rooftop Korean type situation with people defending their businesses that they put their hard-earned money into, which is all that he's encouraging here, which is very, very, very dangerous.
Would you steal from the Louvre?
Yes.
Would I cheer on every news story of people that I see doing it? Absolutely.
And this is the whole thing, is that this is just a dream for these people. This is something they've seen in a heist movie, and they've seen like Ocean's 11 or something like that, and they want to try to be the protagonist or whatever in a movie or story. But unfortunately for nepo babies like Hassan, this is reality. This is not a movie. This is not something that you're just seeing on TV. This is reality. He is not Luffy, right? He's not out there able to actually go out and do these things. He has none of the skills to.
He say he's not Luffy. You damn straight this nigga ain't Luffy. He'll be like the what was the dude that had the metal jaw? I forgot the name of that character in that show. It's been so long. One Piece is thousands of episodes. What was this one dude? They just showed him in the live action. Is it Whirlpool, Warlow, whatever. That's who Hassan Pike would be. He wouldn't be no damn Luffy.
Do these things. He has the ability, and he's actually just encouraging other people, once again his teenage audience here, to go out and do these things, which I think is absolutely dangerous. And I think it's a reason why the platforms should look at, hey, can we really have somebody on our platform who's encouraging this behavior amongst the audience, amongst kids?
That's what they tried to do. That's why the only reason why we went in to go get them. Because when I went to, me and I guess my friends went and we paid for our food, they were talking about some, y'all banned, y'all can't come back no more. First they tried to grab us, so we couldn't leave. Then I started illing. Right at that time, I was like actively training and competing in MMA. So they got scared. It was like, all right, then y'all just banned from here. And we was going there every UFC event. That was like multiple times a month at that time. And we was not having that. So we said, you know what? Give us a little minute. We gonna go over there and we gonna go figure out what the hell's happening. Because I remember when they asked me from across the table, they was like, yo, we about to leave. We not paying. I said no. The dude's brother who was sitting next to me, he said, no, we're not doing that. And they still did it anyway. I was pissed. So the dude brother was like, yo, Beast Boy, just give me a second. Let me go ahead of you. Let me talk to them. Because I can already see you warming up and doing your stretches as we walk in. Let me go talk to my brother. Let me see why he would do that. And then, like, by the time I got over there, they was like, oh, sorry, we thought y'all said yeah. He was like, nah. We walking back. We gonna walk back and y'all gonna pay your bill, nigga. The hell's wrong with you? I never hung out with them again. Because their meal wasn't like even more than $20. They was like, you gonna ride out for a $20 bill, man? Bug up. That's insane. But yeah. Whirlpool, so I was right. There you go. That's who he's like. That's what Hassan Pike is like.
Teens, etc., that are watching this content, consuming this content. I mean, I think this is a problem. And if I was an advertiser on that platform, I would be deeply concerned about this as well.
Absolutely.
I think it's cool. We gotta get back to cool crimes like that, like bank robberies, right? Stealing priceless artifacts.
Once again, all of this is absolute dreaming. He's thinking about a world in which this is movies or something like that, where you're stealing from the Louvre, etc. These are actual serious crimes you are encouraging people to do or engage in or promote. And as you see people making these attempts, oftentimes streaming these attempts, you're just going to create criminals because you think that corporations, you think the Louvre, you think other places haven't thought about theft, haven't thought that theft is a reality and taken precautions against theft for the last hundreds of years. Of course they have. And the people that you're encouraging to go out and do this are going to get caught. They're probably going to try to do it while live streaming, as we've seen a trend with people across the internet live streaming their crimes.
Look, I got me some Target too. Guess how much I paid? $2.99.
Who's scanning?
I'll get this. If they don't scan, it's free, right?
And they're going to end up criminal.
Man, that's Hassan's crew right there. That's the people Hassan want to be around. That's who he want to hang out with. He said, if you walk out on your bill in the restaurant I work at, the server would have to pay for the ticket. See? Damn. That's messed up. So I could understand why they would be upset. I get it. That's so jacked up. Man, I get it. That's messed up. He said, were y'all teenagers? I would say, I feel like younger 20s, because it was like a bar too. So I think we was like 21, 22, like and up. Because the brother was older. He just used to always come because he was really into UFC. And like some of us were fighters, so we would have a bunch of knowledge and be sitting there and debating while we was like, I guess, enjoying our food and watching the fights. So some of them was older, but the main core was like 21, 22. I had to be like 21, 22. But I still had enough sense to go, I don't want to do that. Just like, why would you do that? Just pay your bill, bro. You have the money. Nah, the service was trash. Nigga, it's busy. Yeah, it might take them a while to come to our table. It's busy. It's okay. Nigga, pay the damn bill. I don't play those games. I don't play with people that control my food. Right? Like, I just don't play those type of games. But yeah, that was very immature on the people I was with behalf. It wasn't all of us. It was like maybe half of the group. The other half was saying, well, what the hell was wrong with these guys? We not hanging out with them no more. And I know I never did. I stopped talking to all of them, actually. Right after that, I was just like, nah, I'm good. After we made them come and pay their bill, never spoke to them again.
They're going to end up getting caught. So here's my judgment. So in judgment, encouraging theft ultimately is going to hurt the most vulnerable people. It's going to hurt his young audience. It's going to hurt those communities where that theft happens. It's going to hurt the people that actually want to go out and buy stuff, the innocent people in that neighborhood that want to buy stuff that aren't stealing, and they now cannot go to Target, they now cannot go to other stores that they would have gone to in that area because they pulled out due to theft. This promotion of lawlessness, it only leads to a normalization that is dangerous, because once you've justified a little bit, once you've justified doing it in one case, oh, it's just a big corporation. Where does it stop? Oh, well, it's a family-run business. Well, this one's profitable, so we're going to steal from them because they have money, they're profitable. Then you go down and stealing from any family business because, well, you know, it's a business, right? It doesn't stop anywhere, and it's a very, very dangerous normalization of this behavior, which absolutely should be discouraged, not just by the platforms, advertisers, but by everybody. And to the extent that law enforcement needs to get involved to crack down on the promotion of lawlessness, I think there is a limit, there's a line at which they are going to have to get involved in this. But at the end of the day,
I don't think you should just be able to promote that just all out and over, but that's great.
Actions have consequences, and there will be consequences down the road for anyone.
Yeah, especially for Hassan. I think he's nasty as hell for that. Super nasty. But tell me what your opinion is down in the comment section. Hit the hype and the like button. Also, sign up for memberships if you're able to, if you want to. And check me out on live stream. If not on YouTube, check Kick and Twitch description.
I just saw a very interesting.
I gotta hear this.
Immigration into America over the last couple of years. Every one of these dots represents 100 people. So just to understand exactly what's going on and what opening the borders actually means, this is what they've done. This is only in 2022. This is 2023. This is 2024.
All right.
Yeah, brutal. That's over 4 years. Just think about how insane that is, man. It's actually national suicide, because these people are not us. And, oh my god, are you a far-right conspiracy theorist believing in the Great Replacement Theory? Brother, it's the Great Replacement fact. Holy shit. Now, Brandon Gill is a congressman. He's been pretty based. He let us be aware that of American Muslims, 50% support banning depictions of Muhammad. That is a violation of the First Amendment. 50% of them do not believe in the First Amendment. Why are they fucking here, man? 46% support the formation of a Muslim political party. That's great. That means they're conquering. All right, 39% support implementing Sharia law in America, which means they just completely throw everything about our country out the window. All right, they view us as savages, and they want to throw every single part of our culture out the window. Look, man, your countries are shitholes for a reason, and it's because the culture is made of people. All right, now, Senator Schumer dropped a beautiful line today.
Adding $140 billion to an agency that nobody, to two groups, Border Patrol and ICE, that nobody respects in this country.
It's disgusting, man. Nobody respects Border Patrol and ICE. If everyone that doesn't respect it, it's because of a Democrat op, okay? Because under Obama, everyone respected Border Patrol and ICE. So this is disgusting. It really is, and it's just more retards, more woke dipshits trying. The woke Jews, bro. The woke Jews are controlling the fucking retards in America. It's crazy. And Donald Trump responded, "Wow, crying Chuck Schumer just said the whole world can hear. Nobody respects Border Patrol or ICE. It's one of the most egregious, incorrect, unpatriotic, dangerous statements I've ever heard from a professional politician. He must immediately apologize to these great patriots, and I mean now, President Donald J. Trump." And honestly, he's right. Honestly, this is a statement made by someone that hates America, that doesn't view being American as worth something, that doesn't value our country at all, because if we have no borders, then we have no country, all right? And this is basically what he's saying. Now, Ilhan Omar is panicking, all right? She dissolved her entire wine business recently. Somali rep Ilhan Omar refused to show up for a Minnesota fraud hearing to answer questions about her involvement in the massive Feeding Our Future fraud scheme. She's panicking. She's actually going to end up going to jail. Like, it actually is happening. You know, we bitch about it, we scream about it, but it is happening. She will either be going to jail or getting deported. She's, like, actually done. She's cooked. She's donezo. All right? And, dude, you have to see the Democrat debate. You have to see the debate in California. This is California debate for next governor or something. It's one of the most humiliation ritual things I've ever seen in my life. You get a bunch of these libtards in the room together, and they all have to sit there and debate. Well, I actually want to kill our nation by importing Muslims that want to rape us. Well, I just want to open the border, and whoever comes in, comes in. Well, I want mandatory butt sex in every school and college. Right? Yeah, that's essentially what we're dealing with, bro. So, anywho, you have to see what these dipshits are doing. Like, the entire American population is a decade ahead of this discussion. Like, every politician is a fossil right now, and they are not ready for the comeuppance that they're about to get.
Mr. Steyer, where do you draw the line on this? Should language proficiency for truckers be strictly enforced, even if it means that some of them will probably lose their jobs? You have 60 seconds.
All right, so this is the question. Should truckers be able to read the street signs? And I think that's a pretty simple one.
I agree with what was said, which is we don't know the context of this stuff. But what I can say is this. Racial profiling is illegal. And in fact, picking on people based on the color of their skin in the
I don't care what color your skin is. You should be able to read the fucking street signs.
state of California is
so it's discrimination. So
illegal.
it is illegal. This is crazy. Should language proficiency for truck drivers be strictly enforced? Tom Steyer, racial profiling is illegal. Holy fucking shit. The left is literally like, well, listen, man, I don't want the Muslims to rape us, but I do want the Indians to run us over on the street. Like, what are we doing? This is the most humiliating. This is like an actual humiliation ritual. All right, so here's Porter. Here's the next one.
Do you believe that English proficiency, language proficiency, should be strictly enforced for truck drivers? You have 60 seconds.
I would absolutely fight the Trump administration because the job of the California governor is to protect Californians.
Oh my God.
Right now, that includes protecting them from Donald Trump.
What about protecting them from drivers that can't speak English and can't read the street signs?
Protecting Californians also includes enforcing traffic laws. And we've seen sometimes a need for oversight in California. For example, we have seen that the Department of Motor Vehicles was not enforcing rules around DUIs and drivers who have convictions for that. I am stunned that Mr. Bianco would say to black and brown Californians and immigrants who are being terrorized and racially profiled that you have to get over racism. It's not something that you get over it.
No, you get over it. No, you get over it.
The importance of that, he has no business representing a state with the diversity of California.
Ms. Porter, thank you very much. Mr. Bianco, I'll give you 15 seconds to respond.
Yeah, again, that's not even close to what I said. What I said is we're Californians, and I'm speaking for them, especially from law enforcement. When I deal with persons of color every single day, Californians are absolutely sick and tired of our politicians making race the basis of everything. It is not. And this racial divide that they are pushing.
This is the one Republican, by the way.
And the public, or Democrat and Republican, absolutely has to stop. And I'm telling you, we are sick of it.
Yeah, so this is the one Republican that's actually running for governor in the sea of Democrats, all right? And he's like, yeah, I actually don't care what race you are. Just, if you can't read, you shouldn't be on the road. And she's like, I am sickened by you. I am sickened. There is racism, discrimination. Now, I have a truth, dude. I think discrimination is awesome, actually. So this is Xavier Becerra. You're the next fucking retard.
Should the CHP be giving English proficiency tests to truck drivers? And if not, would you as governor push back against the Trump administration on this policy? You have 60 seconds.
I would definitely push back on the Trump administration on, again, a reckless policy.
officer understands that he cannot discriminate against any driver without having a...
My God, this has nothing to do with the race. This has to do with the ability to speak English. I'm telling you, these people are like actually fucking retarded. Democrats be like, well, I'm trying to come up with new ways that migrants can rape you. I'm really trying to work really hard on figuring out how to get migrants to rape you more effectively. You know, we're coming up with new technology on how migrants can rape you.
basis to do so. I understood a little bit of what that individual was trying to say. I couldn't see the signs, but it certainly sounded like he was trying to describe what that particular sign was trying to represent. And
yeah, and so he shouldn't be driving.
so we have to be very careful that we're not profiling consumers in California, drivers in California.
Huge L. Racial discrimination is based, actually. These people are fucking retarded. Like, I'm so tired of this shit, man. I'm not saying that some races are superior to other races. That is not even what I am implying right now. But discrimination is awesome, actually. It helps you survive. You know, we're really in a catch-22 situation. On the one hand, we're not allowed to acknowledge that specific populations are more violent than others. On the other hand, you have to watch your back when you're around specific populations. But this is retarded. But look, man, if I saw a Muslim guy screaming Allahu Akbar in a bus, and I saw a Christian man saying Christ is King in a bus, I know which one would scare me more. You know, I'm just being realistic here. Discrimination is fucking awesome. It helps you survive. Alright, you discriminate what food you want to eat, you discriminate what clothes you decide to wear, and you should be discriminating exactly in regards to if you see a guy that, you know, likely can't speak English, if you should check if he can speak English before he drives. And it's insane, they're all like this. Alright, so this is the next one. Tim Waltz talking about fraud in California on Jimmy Kimmel.
In all of this is these multiple cases of benefits fraud that were happening. Now, I want to ask you, did it take an extraordinary long time for you to know that was happening? No. Is that just something that has been...
No, because he was probably involved.
Fred, it happens in other states. We were going back to many of these people were prosecuted in 2021. He used it as an excuse because it was a perfect thing to do to say there was fraud. Imagine that, you know, coming from
It's
this guy.
coming all right. It's coming along slowly.
Used it to
he's like Sigmund fraud.
Yeah. demonize the immigrant community, especially the Somali community, and I said what he was doing.
We're 85% of them are well.
Are they talking to Tim Walz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why the fuck? Why are we still listening to this guy? He's fucking retarded.
Taxpayer dollars and we give them to Somali pirates. We're so generous. And dude, they're all like this, man. So this is Detroit. I can't even make this up. This is one of my favorite clips of all time.
It's not only a theft to the fire hydrant, but it's a theft to our...
This, by the way, happened today. Everything I'm showing you today happened within the last 24 hours.
Citizens, our residents, our firefighters, and in public safety in general. It's totally unacceptable. Fire hydrants are a very important part of our infrastructure. And no matter how fast we get to a fire, if we don't have an operable fire hydrant, it takes seconds and even minutes away from us.
People are stealing the fire hydrants, and they're not punishing the people, but they're doing like these PSAs, these gay fucking PSAs.
Maybe saving lives.
The problem is, whoever's doing this is doing multiple hydrants in a row. Wow. So when DOD shows up, they're not going to have a hydrant within 600.
Oh my gosh, maybe arrest the criminals or something. Like, dude, it's the most pathetic shit of all time. Alright, so this is Michigan Democrats, and they're all like this, man.
We will have Rep. Gold move to report House Bill 5425 with recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Just understand, the House Bill 5425 is prohibiting employment of registered sex offenders at businesses that provide service to minors. Pretty reasonable, right?
Hope. Breen. Scott.
Every single
Madam Chair, you
Democrat
have
voted for it. Every single, well, not a single Democrat voted for a bill that would ban sex offenders from working at child care facilities. Not one. Not one from the pedophile party. Once again, it's pretty crazy. You know, it's just, and they all do this. Governor Spamberger from Virginia kept saying that, oh, she has no plans to redistrict Virginia, and then she immediately redistricts Virginia.
Short answer is no. Certainly Virginia, by constitutional amendment, has a new redistricting effort that was put in place and first utilized after in the 2021 redistricting. Certainly I've been watching.
And then she immediately redistricted. It's like they're all liars. They're all liars and fraudsters and swindlers. So this is Scott Wiener, all right? Someone's, you know, who shut down fraud or whatever. So Scott Wiener says, nah, not president, but Congress, yes. And Nick Shirley is definitely a psycho scam artist. Nick Shirley responds, you literally want to have less consequences for adults who commit sex crimes with 14-year-olds. You are the psycho. Dude, and they're all like this. They're all like this. They're upset that you tried to shut down fraud while they are advocating to put pedophiles near kids. What are we even doing here? This is just breaking news, exclusive from Christopher Rufo, who exposed this. Gavin Newsom granted nearly $1 billion to left-wing NGOs. You're not even gonna believe this when you hear these words. That have helped illegal aliens cross the border, organized anti-ICE street protests, and brought in undocumented migrants that are, quote, living with HIV. They subsidize the invasion of our country, man. They are putting gay butt-fuckers in our country for why? For literally what possible purpose? Literally, why are they doing this? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Why would you bring in undocumented migrants living with HIV? It's fucking insane. There's no purpose. There is no purpose. Oh my fucking god, dude. Globo homo is so real, it's crazy. We're just gonna put the migrants in every country and we're gonna make everyone gay. That is literally what they're doing. It sounds fucking stupid when you say it out loud, but it is the policy. And I think these people need to go to jail. We need to start arresting these people for treason. Opening our border? What are we even doing? Like, that maintains our country's existence. How can you open the border bringing in people with AIDS? Like, what are we doing? So, Hispanic voters who actually understand that there are dangerous people in, Hispanic countries are 49% Republicans and 45% Democrats right now, which is insane. I thought for sure that, after all the anti-ICE messaging, I thought for sure it would flip. But, dude, I'm telling you, man, based Hispanic people are fucking awesome. Conservative black guys and conservative Hispanics are fucking legends. They make America better, so much better. They really do. Because these guys are goats. They're the goats. And this shit's crazy. So, despite all of the anti-ICE propaganda, despite all of that shit, it did not work. And that's insane. So, here's a feel-good story of the week. Over 70% of the East Village voted for Mamdani. Now they are suing Mamdani because he's planning to relocate a Bellevue homeless shelter to East Village. This is so sad. Breaking stuff. 4 billion views on this tweet. East Villagers sue Mamdani to stop relocation of notorious Bellevue men's homeless shelter into their neighborhood. Well, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions. You voted for a retard communist Islamist, and now he is literally sending homeless people to rape you? Damn, that's fucking brutal for you, probably. This is like, I make the same argument when I see, like, women, like, leftist women, feminists crying about trans people in women's sports, and I'm like, this is literally you. They're like, the trans men or trans people are brutalizing women in sports. You literally voted for this. Women aren't safe in women's spaces anymore, in women's bathrooms. I agree, that's horrifying. But you literally voted for this. You understand that? God, it's so crazy how actions have consequences or something. Man, I miss the ages of strong men. And now we have to give in to weak men and strong women. It's really heartbreaking stuff, honestly. The Senate Judiciary Democrats, they drop immigrants make your country great. And why aren't their countries great? Checkmate, motherfucker. Literally go fuck yourself in the face. If the stock of the immigrants are so fucking good, then why are they all coming from shitholes? I do not see a lot of Americans trying to immigrate to Pakistan, but I see a lot of Pakistanis trying their absolute best to get the fuck out of Pakistan. Coincidence? I think not.
Why is this guy still allowed when he has an actual FBI warrant and he's on the most wanted list?
A woman who adopted 7 children and used them to make social media videos is now under arrest.
A year later, he has actually been arrested by the police, possibly facing extradition for running a literal cult.
Obviously, not every video on YouTube is cute or funny. Some channels push the limits so hard, they get kicked off of YouTube forever. But what type of content could be so bad that it forces YouTube to ban an entire channel? Let's find out. These are YouTube channels banned for disturbing reasons, part 2. As usual, we'll begin with the lighter cases and move on to the more disturbing ones at the end. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The Catch Me Killer. In February 2009, a new channel appeared on YouTube, but their first video was so disturbing that it left viewers feeling disgusted and angry. A man using the name Catch Me Killer posted a video saying he was responsible for several unsolved crimes. The YouTuber blurred his face and distorted his voice so no one could identify him. And then he began his confession. He claimed he'd taken the lives of 16 women and hidden the remains. Although he said he was confessing, there was no regret in his voice. Instead, he sounded proud. The end of the video was the worst part. This mystery man issued a challenge to everyone watching.
The Catch Me Killer tells viewers, play my game and solve my puzzles, and I'll lead you to 16 bodies one by one.
He promised to provide a clue every week until they located the victims, saying once all 16 bodies are found, you'll know exactly who I am. But he also added a warning for the police, don't try to chase me, don't try to catch me. Once this video went viral on YouTube, people wondered who this mystery man was. Was he a real criminal, or was this all just a big joke? The only way to find out was to play his twisted game. It was obvious this mystery YouTuber knew what he was talking about. Every clue he gave was connected to an unsolved case, usually involving missing people.
He would also leave cryptic messages below videos that were talking about certain missing women. He never really stated anything outright, but he would heavily imply that he had some sort of involvement in their disappearance.
His first clue was about Tara Grinstead, a former beauty queen from South Georgia. She'd been missing since 2005. Although he didn't say her name, he talked about her past as a pageant contestant. He also hinted that he was responsible for the disappearance of Jennifer Kessie, another missing person from 2006. Since these clues were linked to real cases, the police launched a manhunt to find this mysterious YouTuber. But their only lead was a YouTube video with a blurred face and altered voice. That wasn't much, but it was enough to track him down. Cyber experts identified the IP address of the computer that posted the video. They traced it to a house in Florida. Hours later, agents stormed the house and arrested the man responsible for the Catch Me Killer YouTube channel. His name was Andrew Scott Haley, and he was in his late 20s. The cops thought they caught a criminal. I mean, this guy confessed to taking 16 lives in his YouTube video. The biggest surprise was yet to come, because when they arrested Andrew Scott Haley, they realized it was all a lie. When Andrew, aka the Catch Me Killer, was questioned, he gave cops a ridiculous explanation. Andrew claimed everything he said in his video was a joke. He said he was playing a game to fool people on the internet. And he was right. Police found nothing to indicate he was involved in any of these disappearances. But that didn't mean Andrew was off the hook. Police spent hundreds of hours and tens of thousands of dollars trying to catch him. This hoax wasted public resources and caused real pain to the families of the missing people. Andrew was charged with evidence tampering and making false statements because his videos disrupted the investigations into these cases. He was sentenced to 2 years in a work release jail and several more years of probation. The Catch Me Killer YouTube channel was banned and all his disgusting videos were scrubbed from the internet. But that's not the only YouTube channel banned for faking something. Andrew may have lied about being a criminal, but this next channel allegedly faked something completely different: the loss of a child. The fake pregnancy. Sam and Nia were one of the first couples to create a YouTube channel together. Their channel's name was simple: Sam and Nia. Since March 2007, they've uploaded more than 2,700 videos showing off their marriage and family life. But in 2015, after 8 years on YouTube, Sam and Nia's subscribers began to turn on them. And it was all because of a series of questionable videos the couple posted. On August 5th, 2015, Sam uploaded a video called "Husband Shocks Wife with Pregnancy Announcement." At first, it seemed like an exciting moment. You'd think a YouTube couple sharing their pregnancy would get a lot of love, right? But there were a lot of things wrong with the video. First, the whole idea itself was off. Nia, the wife, never actually took a pregnancy test. Sam, the husband, thought Nia might be pregnant, so he secretly bought a pregnancy test for her. Then he waited for Nia to use the bathroom. Sam then dipped the test into the toilet. The test came back positive, but Nia had no idea it was even happening. Sam then filmed his wife's reaction when he surprised her with the news that she was pregnant.
Did you get a dropper out of the toilet? No, you didn't.
I did.
No way. Are you serious right now? No way.
The couple was excited that they were having another baby, but the reactions from viewers weren't so positive. Many people criticized Sam for conducting a pregnancy test without Nia's consent. Others were skeptical about how valid a pregnancy test from a toilet bowl could be since Nia didn't take another test herself. The whole thing blew up, dividing the YouTube community into those that believed the couple and those that didn't. News outlets contacted doctors to see if the test results were legit, and many doctors said it was not. To defend Sam and Nia, their pregnant fans started posting videos of themselves doing the same thing. They would use their toilet bowls for the pregnancy test and show positive test results to the camera to prove that Sam and Nia were telling the truth. But it wasn't the pregnancy test drama that upset subscribers the most. It was a video posted 3 days later called "Our Baby Had a Heartbeat That Really Hit a Nerve."
I told me, I said, yeah, God's ready to use us in a huge way.
We were so happy.
Just days after the pregnancy announcement video, Sam and Nia shared a heartbreaking update. Their baby was gone. The couple cried as they revealed that they lost their baby. But instead of triggering sympathy, this video only made subscribers angrier. Their problem was that Sam and Nia didn't visit a doctor about the pregnancy or the miscarriage. The couple chose to only consult each other, with Sam saying that he handled everything since he was a nurse. The behavior was unusual, and subscribers began to distrust the couple. Right after the alleged miscarriage, Sam and Nia started making their daily vlogs again. But they weren't behaving like a couple who just lost a baby. On the contrary, they did things that made subscribers suspect that the miscarriage and pregnancy were both faked. For example, the next day after the miscarriage announcement, they posted a video taking their kids to Legoland. But instead of paying at the gate, Sam and Nia wanted to get in for free because of their recent viral videos. When that didn't work, Sam complained.
He wants to leverage our viralness, our virality, to get into Legoland. I don't think it's right. No, sorry guys. He didn't recognize the video. Now we got a bunch of disappointed kids.
Instead of taking time to mourn their loss, the couple was trying to get special treatment as YouTube stars. In the same video, Sam announced that he was quitting his job as a nurse to do YouTube full-time. With all these announcements, one after the other, the public suspected that all of this was calculated so that they could boost the Sam and Nia channel. Sam was quitting his job, which meant that they would lose their main income. However, if their YouTube videos went viral, they could support themselves entirely through YouTube. What was the easiest way to achieve virality? Create a sob story. And things kept getting worse. When BuzzFeed called Sam's workplace to ask if he quit, they said he didn't. According to the employment records, Sam still worked as a nurse in the hospital. Whether that was due to delayed paperwork or because Sam lied, no one knew. Either way, it looked like Sam deceived his subscribers, hurting his credibility even more. But this was nothing compared to the scandal that was coming next. In July 2015, Ashley Madison, a dating website for extramarital affairs, was hacked. This website was made specifically for married couples to secretly cheat on their spouses. 3 months later, the hackers released the name of tens of millions of people with an Ashley Madison account. Sam's name was on that list. If you want to learn more about the Ashley Madison hack, you can check out my other video where I cover it in detail. Sam made a video addressing the scandal.
As you may have seen, my name has been associated with an Ashley Madison account. Website made for spouses who want to have an affair. I'm here to clarify some of this with you guys because I owe it to you. I did make the account.
Even though Sam admitted he was on the cheating site, Nia decided to forgive him. The couple stayed together, making content and raising their kids as if nothing happened. Their fans, however, weren't ready to forgive. Sam and Nia acted like a perfect Christian couple. But if Sam was cheating on his wife, then they were hypocrites. With their pregnancy scandal still fresh, Sam and Nia's reputations were damaged. A few weeks later, Sam got into a fight with vloggers who were liking tweets about Sam and Nia's pregnancy and cheating scandals. The fight took place at a vloggers convention organized by YouTube. Sam and Nia were instantly kicked out of the event.
Well, we just got kicked out of Vlogger Fair, guys. Nia's really upset with me. So is a couple other people. I made a really stupid, rash decision while we were hanging out in the lounge.
The next month, their YouTube channel was banned. This was probably because of the fight at the YouTube event and people reporting them for their controversial videos. The channel was eventually unbanned, but faced demonetization issues for a while. Sam and Nia have returned to regular uploads now, but there are still people who believe that they shouldn't have a platform. This next channel was banned for doing something I think we can all agree is wrong: adopting a kid for views. Adopting a kid for clout. Before we get into this case, I want to point out that some of the information is only alleged. A lot of people believe Micah is guilty, but she's always denied the accusations against her. With 4 kids, a devoted husband, and almost 200,000 subscribers, Micah Stouffer was living the suburban dream. She was a stay-at-home mom turned content creator. She got her start on YouTube by making videos of her cleaning the house and doing home makeovers. Her husband, James Stouffer, was also a YouTuber. His channel, Stouffer Garage, currently has over 1.3 million subscribers and 200 million views. By early 2017, Micah and James were successful YouTubers, but they always wanted more. More views, more subscribers, and of course, more money. That's when they did something that skyrocketed their YouTube views. In October 2017, Micah posted a video called Huxley's Emotional Adoption Video, and it went viral instantly. In the video, Micah showed the whole process of adopting a 2-year-old boy from China who they named Huxley. He became the newest member of their family, joining their 4 biological kids. Just weeks after uploading the video, it racked up 5.5 million views, making it the most watched video on Micah's channel. Viewers were hooked on Huxley's adoption story. To capitalize on this attention, Micah and James started a new channel called The Stouffer Life, where they posted updates about their adopted son and other family-related content. The channel was an instant success.
The channel grew from 80,000 to 131,000 subscribers in just that month alone. In addition, their monthly average views went from 200,000 to 2.5 million.
It was obvious that Huxley was the real reason for their high views. So Micah started using him to farm likes and increase her subscriber count.
If you are on my channel and you are here for the Huxley content, give this video a thumbs up.
Every thumbnail included Huxley's face, every video title used his name, and she used him to secure multiple sponsorship deals. Eventually, Huxley became one of the most beloved kids on YouTube. Although things looked good on screen, trouble was brewing behind the scenes. In June 2020, Micah and James posted a video sharing devastating news. Huxley was no longer with them.
The last couple months have been like the hardest thing I could have ever imagined choosing to do.
After coming to the US, Huxley was diagnosed with several health problems, including autism and a brain tumor. Micah and James said they consulted many doctors about how best to care for him. According to them, every doctor told them Huxley needed a different environment. So they decided the best thing to do was to rehome him and place him with another family.
Do I feel like a failure as a mom? Like 500%.
This decision caused a lot of outrage. Some subscribers accused them of abandoning their son. Others believed that since Huxley was adopted, they gave up on him quickly and wouldn't have done the same if he was their biological child. Critics pointed out how they used Huxley to rack up views. After Huxley joined the family, their channels blew up. Micah's channel went from under 200,000 subscribers to nearly 800,000. Now that their channels were successful, many viewers speculated that they didn't need him anymore.
Huxley in particular brought so much viewership to their channel. He's kind of the new moneymaker for Micah.
After the video went viral, people started digging into the Stouffer family's past. They found Micah's Facebook posts in adoption groups where she asked questions about Huxley. Some of these posts made it seem like rehoming him was more of a choice than a necessity.
James here, this douchebag face here, hates the fact that Huxley watches him eat. This is supposed to be this kid's father. Okay, if my kid wants to watch me, my kids watch me take a dump. I can't get privacy. I love my kids still. This guy is a total...
Angry subscribers dug up old vlog videos where Micah and James seemed frustrated with Huxley. In several videos, they scolded Huxley on camera and treated him differently from their other kids.
Well, that's why you don't see on the vlog. He's probably having a meltdown. Are you done?
He's just having a bad day.
There were some examples that really stood out. Micah often criticized Huxley for sucking his thumb, but her feelings about thumb sucking seemed to change when it came to her biological kids. Viewers discovered an old Instagram post from Micah where she praised one of her biological daughters for sucking her thumb. In the post, she thought it was super cute and she said she never wanted her to stop. This was pretty surprising, especially since Huxley was shamed for doing the same thing.
The adopted son was also shown with duct tape on his thumb in a different video.
video. But when her older daughter was sucking on her thumb in 2015, Micah said she hoped her daughter never stopped. I hope she never stops sucking her thumb.
There were also vlogs where Micah talked about cutting back on money and resources they spent on Huxley's care. In one clip, she mentioned looking for a cheaper therapy for him while wearing what looked like a $6,000 Cartier bracelet.
I'm excited to see what happens. We're gonna go to a different speech therapist. Not the one that's $500 a month, but we're gonna go to the one that's $70 for 30 minutes. And he starts preschool too, so you'll get therapy there. So it'll all work out.
These videos raised concerns about Micah's parenting, making fans worry that Huxley might be mistreated when the cameras weren't rolling. People were so upset that they called the local sheriff to complain. After this controversy, YouTube suspended all of Micah and James's channels. An investigation was launched to ensure Huxley was safe. Huxley now lives with a new family and has changed his name. Micah's personal channel and the Stauffer Life channel were permanently deleted, while James still continues to make videos. But Micah isn't the only one whose content triggered an investigation. The next YouTube channel became the center of an FBI investigation, but this time for a much darker reason.
You
The
think
false
you're pretty
prophet.
smart now, don't you?
The YouTube channel
Here's your
Sunshine
pay,
Media Network
Einstein.
International, or SMNI News, is one of the most controversial channels in YouTube history. For starters, the man behind the channel was telling everyone he was God. But if that sounds strange, brace yourself because it only gets weirder.
I'm
Apollo
gonna make you
Kibuloy
an
was
offer.
born
It's
and
a
raised
deal.
in a small
Disappoint
rural
me,
town in the
and you'll
Philippines his
find
entire
yourself
life.
on the
He came from
wrong
nothing
end
and
of the
lived
road.
with little. That is until 2005, when he announced to the world that he was chosen by God himself to be Christ on earth. The title was supposedly rewarded to him for living a pure life.
Pastor Apollo Quibuloy, the most successful of the world's self-labeled saviors.
The official coming of the Son of God was in April 13, 2005.
But years before then, in 1985, Apollo was the leader of a church called the Kingdom of Jesus Christ in the Philippines. A few years after the church was created, he created SMNI News, which aired on television. But he went on to create the SMNI YouTube channel, which was a huge part of his media empire, giving him exposure to billions of people. But there was a big problem. Apollo was saying some extreme things on YouTube. As far back as 2005, Apollo called himself the Messiah and the appointed Son of God, basically implying he was God on earth. He made YouTube videos talking about how he was divine and tried to recruit more followers. But Apollo had a lot of enemies, and he often threatened and insulted them in his videos. Other videos showed him living in luxury while treating his followers like they were his servants.
This may be the most beautiful spot in the Philippines, and it's paid for by people who live on $2 a day. So how do you justify your lifestyle? I mean, your watch could probably feed 100 families for a month.
If it's not God's will for me to have these things I have, you can take it away.
Despite all this, SMNI managed to avoid getting banned. That was until June 2023, when one man made it his mission to get the channel kicked off of YouTube. Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers tweeted at the YouTube team asking them to take down the news channel. He had a really good reason for this request. It turns out that Apollo Kibuloy, the man running the channel, was wanted by the FBI.
Why is this guy still allowed when he has an actual FBI warrant and he's on the most wanted list?
The tweet read, "Someone at Team YouTube has to help the feds or shut this account down. Priest is running a channel still reaching out to victims." After his tweet got a couple thousand likes, YouTube decided to investigate, and what they found was very disturbing. The FBI accused Apollo Kibuloy for running a labor trafficking ring. He was allegedly bringing church members to the US using fake visas. Once they arrived, the members would roam the streets asking people to donate to a kids charity called the Children's Joy Foundation. But the charity was just a front. All donations were going straight to Apollo's pockets. Besides the charity scam, Apollo was involved in other illegal activities like his fixation with selecting the perfect personal assistant. He would handpick female church members to be his personal assistants. These women were forced to work at his house during the night, doing things that were far from normal assistant duties. The worst part, some of them were on the